up. So people in the chat are saying late essence. Yes, we hear you. Whenever it does start,
But
yeah,
if you
we
guys need
hear
help
you.
with camera stuff, I can help you because I'm a photographer. So I could help you with budget.
I just actually, if you could just send me a link for a camera mount that was
Well,
for Lumix G7, that would be great.
I can take a look at those.
Yeah, if you know like a good one. But anyway, hey, what's up, everybody? OJ here. Welcome to another PE podcast, episode 10 Tress. This is episode 103. Welcome to the stream, guys. Sorry for being late. I blame everything on Baron. And Baron's not even here. So I blamed everything on Baron, and Baron is not here at all. So
it's true. It is Baron's fault.
It's Baron's
It's always
fault.
Baron's fault.
It's always Baron's fault. See, look, you wouldn't. I mean, why would we lie to you guys? So what's up, everybody? OJ here. We got a good show for you guys today, man. We got a lot of different topics, a lot of gaming news to go over, a lot of stuff, man. So let's go ahead and hop into our guests here. We're gonna start off with Avedon is here, coming back after a couple weeks, man. Avedon, how you doing today?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back, man.
Absolutely, it's good to see you here. And also, we got Big Z here as well. Oh, well.
Yes, I've been playing CS:GO all day.
Nice. Sounds like fun. And then we also have Shadow Fox is here as well.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm willing to say Streets of Rage 4 might be my game of the year.
I wouldn't be mad at you.
I wouldn't be mad at you. That's a good game.
That game is super fun.
That's a good game. That's a good game.
I might go play that game.
That's a good game, man. But let's go ahead and start off here, guys. We got a lot of topics to get into, but before we get into that, man, anybody play anything new for this week, man? Any cool games that stick out to you guys that you've been playing?
I've been playing this game called Life Simulator. It's been kicking my butt here and there, but got a few leveled ups in there. Got getting paid here and there, so it's pretty good. Good.
Life Simulator, the game.
No de-leveling? I had a lot of de-leveling going on.
I mean, you got to go to the right areas and train up. Kind of getting MMORPGs, you got to start with the low levels first, man.
I'm waiting for the casual mode to pop up, and it never pops up in the Life Simulator.
It's just too much full motion video.
It's just so much, man. It's deadly too. This is deadly.
It is.
It's really
scary game too.
Yeah,
worst hard game on the market.
It can be scary. But no, man. I mean, I've been playing The Last of Us, so we'll talk about that once we get to The Last of Us Part 2 segment. I know Big Z, you said you've been playing some Counter-Strike. So how'd your games go today, man?
It was okay today. I've actually been throughout this week. I've been playing a lot of Alien Isolation. It's not a newer game, but I've been replaying that again.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've been stealing it from girlfriend's Steam account.
Nice. So how you liking that? Playing like on max settings and all that stuff? It's
it's a great. At max settings, and I'm playing it like 240 FPS, so it's amazing.
Nice. Glad.
Yeah, no, but it's really solid as a game. It's a lot better than I remember it being.
Mm-hmm. I think games like that aren't really like, at the time that it came out, people thought it was great, but obviously it's a game like where you're running a lot, so maybe it got like a little bit of downplayed. But when you go back and play some of those games, I mean, the design of that game is really good. I actually played it for the first time on the Switch not too long ago when it first came out. I got a review code for it, or did I buy it? I don't remember. Either one of those two. And yeah, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a pretty cool game. I put up some gameplay. I thought it was fun. I played a little bit more afterwards.
Well, yeah,
not my style, but
it's a really cool game. I love the suspense of it. I mean, it's not even like a traditional horror, like a Silent Hill or anything else. It's its own type of horror, and that's what makes it so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Shadow Fox? Anything interesting you played this week?
Obviously, I just got through playing what looks like my game of the year. I just can't stop. I keep going back to Streets of Rage 4. I play other stuff and then I'm like Streets of Rage 4. But no, I actually went through one of the 2016 game of the year nominees, Firewatch. Kind of more of like a walking simulator type, but it's a pretty decent story. And the way that they force you to do mundane things in kind of an interactive way, I see why it was a media darling then at the time. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't coming out that year anyway, so they kind of didn't have no choices unless they wanted to talk about Nintendo. But that year, I see why they picked that game because of the narrative. It's just really good voice acting more than anything else. They kind of really sold the game. If you take that voice acting away, I think that really impacts the flow of that game and how well it gels together. But otherwise, it was pretty decent experience. Probably some things could have been fleshed out a little bit more, but I like the world that was created then at the time, and I look forward would look forward to the next game from them. So, Campo, I think it's Campo
Yeah.
Studio. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good game. Firewatch, when I played it years ago, really, I don't remember if it was touched on like mental health issues or not. I'm not sure if that was VAT or Messenger, but Firewatch really did hit me in a way that other game did.
Yeah, they tried to touch on it a little bit, and just more relationships and just different situations like that, and health in general really is what.
Oh yeah, no, it's a really good game. It's like that Donut Hill / Messenger style, but it's a lot different.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. Other than that, I came back to believe it or not, Dead or Alive 2 on Dreamcast, and just
okay.
Dead or Alive 2 on the Dreamcast, huh?
Oh,
just the all out. When you talk about the ultimate version of a game. And like literally like 12 outfits per character, and they went all out as far as updating everything from the original arcade release. I always go back to that game as one of my favorites, and it is a family favorite as well. Other than that, just been trying to watch the kids. I'm trying to get like my kids see what they're doing in Ninjala before I download it myself and jump in with them. Okay. But they seem to be having fun, so I'll try to see if I can get on and play a little bit myself here.
Yeah, I actually downloaded it. I haven't played it just yet because the servers are just not great right now. So like I don't want to, like, it's always like that on day one with so many of these games. Like, so there's no point in jumping in, right now at this point. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna play it, and there's a single player mode. So I'll definitely check that out tonight. Capture some footage, maybe make a video about that. But overall, yeah, I mean, Ninja, I'm going to get into it. This week, I've been playing a lot. I played The Last of Us, like I said. I played, what else did I play this week? I've been playing a lot of Xenoblade. Just a lot of cool stuff. But let's go and get into these topics here, guys. First and foremost, man, I think it's gonna be interesting podcast. So first off, we're starting off with Pokemon Unite. So they had a pretty universally accepted game from Pokemon fans. It seems like everybody was on page with this game, right? No, I'm joking.
Hell yeah.
Pokemon Unites, they had a Pokemon Presents presentation.
Genius idea.
And they basically revealed a 5-on-5 MOBA game. So think League of Legends, think Arena of Valor, Dota, that type of game. They announced that for mobile and also for Nintendo Switch, and with complete crossplay.
Wow.
Complete crossplay between it. So this kind of divided fans quite a bit, because a lot of fans were looking, which is weird. They're thinking it's going to be Pokemon Let's Go Johto, which would be like the Let's Go games, like Pokemon Let's Go.
A huge contradiction, because they was complaining about that last year, but we don't get into.
No, we might get into that. Exactly, that was a huge kind of thing, because in 2018. They were complaining. Pokemon fans were complaining about that, but now they seems like, now it's accepted because they know about it now. So I think it's interesting, right? It's an interesting dynamic. But this game, this game is like I said, I'll just finish this up real quick. This game is a 5-on-5 team battle online, and it's developed by Tencent, which I think where a lot of the hate comes from. I think it's also Tencent. People really in the States, people here really dislike Tencent. For a variety of reasons. But I think that's where also a lot of the hate comes from, is that it's Tencent developed. So, Avedon, I know you want to speak on this a bit. So, what's your thoughts, man?
I feel that the Pokemon company is about to make the most money they have made in a very long time. Like, seriously, like, this is a brilliant idea. And the reason why, and the thing is, I think a lot of people don't like it, for the same reason they ain't like Pokemon Let's Go. It's different from their norm. Pokemon fans, as we've known, they're traditionalists. Like, by textbook definition, they are traditionalists. They like something just to stay the same all the way through. And a lot of people, what I'm seeing, they were expecting like Pokemon Let's Go Johto. I guess they was thinking maybe because you could explore possibly two different regions, then they'll probably like it more. And in my opinion, looking at this, I don't take anything any Pokemon fan says I take it all with a grain of salt. Those final sales are going to speak a lot more than what is going to show right here. And just like what Dank be saying,
free to play. So,
and free to play, and that's even more of a thing. Since it's free to play, Because when I watched the trailer and everything, I didn't see they didn't announce a release date for it. Since it is free to play, it's on Switch and it's on mobile and it's crossplay. Best believe they're gonna make a lot of money with those microtransactions that you can play with mobile games. And some people like playing them. Some people will pay more to get a certain character they want. Some people will pay more if they're having fun with their friends. A 5-on-5 team battle with Pokemon, that's a MOBA. That actually does sound kind of funny. You don't have to spend money on it. That's the thing that blows my mind. People getting upset. You don't have to spend money on this. It'll be different if it's like they were charging something. You don't have to spend money on this. It costs you nothing just to try it out. And the fact that you can play this on mobile or your Switch and it's crossplay, I'm for it. I feel it's a great idea. I want to see what they're going to do with this, and I'm cool. It's like Tencent, I know, is not really, favored with a lot of different people and everything, but I really want to see what happens with it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, what about you, Big Z?
So here's the thing. The game looks really good as a core game. My issue with it is that it's a mobile and Switch game. If you give this the same control scheme as League of Legends and other MOBAs, this could be a really solid game. It's limited by inferior control system. And it will make the most money of any Pokemon game. I don't doubt that for a second. My biggest issue is it's not a PC game.
Well, do you think it could possibly come out to PC later? Because that's just initial launch.
I think of the fact that it's Tencent doing it, and I'm assuming Tencent has some sort of distribution rights with it to a certain extent, because they have to distribute it in China because of the firewall and everything. It might come to PC at some point. Again, I need to see the monetization of this, if it's going to be scummy like a COD Mobile, or if it's just going to be like your average game.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I understand. I think some people in the chat, I think one of our Elite Ninja here, he was saying that, the problem was that they made you wait a week for a 10-minute presentation, and kind of putting the parallels to Blizzard and what they did.
The other thing they have to think about too is MOBAs are massive in South Korea and Japan and China.
Yeah, MOBAs are
not massive here.
Yeah, MOBAs are massive, but I think that the thing that people don't understand with that is that it's on Switch and it's on mobile and it's crossplay, and League of Legends is the same way. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can say it's a mobile game, but League of Legends does that run on mobile too, or like?
There's a form of MOBA.
Yeah, Arena of Valor, that's a mobile game too. I mean, these MOBA games, it's just like you want them on mobile, and I mean they could be an only console game, but they're on mobile too. So I mean, like it's just one of those things to where I don't know. I think that fans, it's a big announcement because here's the reason why I think it's a big announcement. It's a big announcement because of the amount of money, like Abaddon said, that they can make off this. MOBAs are extremely popular. It doesn't matter if it's a mobile game. It's extremely popular style of game. MOBAs are just huge. League of Legends is bigger than every single game that everybody here plays. Or Dota. Dota and League of Legends, in terms of popularity, and crush everything that we all play. All that stuff like Astral Chain and everything that we all think is dope. League of Legends and these MOBA games absolutely crush it. You know what I'm saying?
Like right now on the Steam charts, I could find 100,000 people playing Dota.
Yeah, like 100,000 people playing Dota right then and there, and like the amount of money that these people make that play these games competitively is ridiculous. These League of Legends guys, these Dota guys, So I think that to just say that, I think that it's the wrong atmosphere. I mean, you don't have to like the game, but to say that it's not a big announcement because you don't like the game or you don't like the style because it's mobile, that's the problem. Just because
it's like when people said Hero wasn't a big announcement.
Exactly. When Hero
in Japan, it was a massive deal. Everyone watched it. But then in Japan, everyone's questioning, why does everyone care about this little banjo dude?
Absolutely. I think that's a great example. Everyone here, what the hell, Hero? That's not a big announcement. That's stupid. No, Hero is a big announcement. You just don't know him. You just don't like him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest problem that people do. They try to throw out that type of narrative that it's not a big announcement because I don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's a problem. Like that's not looking at it objectively. Like I said, you don't have to like the game. Trust me. I don't personally like think that like it's not going to be a game that I'm going to like 100% like or love or anything like that. But to say that it's not big and they made me wait a week and and get angry over that because you don't think it's big, that's the problem when it actually could be massive. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it because of the style. Now, if it was Pokemon Cafe Mix, then I get that thought process, you know? A little cake, like where you're just a little mobile game where
Pokemon
you're, you know, mixing cake.
But this is a MOBA.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is gonna be
This is gonna be massive.
Or if it's like Pokemon Sleep, you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly,
you know,
exactly.
like that's the problem.
I get it.
You know,
And
I think to remember is the culture difference because there's internet cafes are massive. Free to play and free to start games are massive because of internet cafes, which people still go to in East.
Another thing that I want to note that also I think people are, once again, I'm seeing misinformation. This is not a Nintendo game.
No.
This is not. This is the Pokemon Company, and this is Tencent. Just like Pokemon
Exactly.
Go isn't a Nintendo game. That is Niantic, and that is the Pokemon Company. Nintendo is not the sole proprietor owner of the Pokemon Company or Creatures Inc., which is what Pokemon is. They're not. They own a part of it. And there are projects that the Pokemon Company work on that Nintendo has no deal with. There's stuff that Game Freak works on. For example, Tembo the Badass Elephant. That is a Game Freak developed game that's not on any Nintendo platforms. That's on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. But yet it's Game Freak. People think, oh, well, Game Freak, right? Pokemon. No. Nintendo doesn't operate that. So that's also another thing. This is not. They're not going to make. Nintendo's not making money off this. Nintendo didn't even retweet the announcement or even put up the announcement at all. Just because they own some of the Pokemon Company does not mean that they own this game or they're going to make a bunch of money off of this game. This is Tencent and this is the Pokemon Company. So I think that's also another thing. Just because they own percentages doesn't mean they get everything that they're going to do, especially when Tencent and the Pokemon Company are the ones who are funding this project. So just keep that in mind as well. I saw a lot of people saying Nintendo. No, Nintendo's not publishing this title. The Pokemon Company and Tencent are doing that.
Let's discuss that. Yeah.
You have something more you want to add to that, Abaddon?
No, I just wanted to add that it's like people just need to also see that it's like you hammered it. I want to piggyback off what you said. Just because you don't like the game doesn't mean it's not a big announcement. It's like, yes, that's like, you know what that's like? And I'm going to use this example. Just because I wasn't interested in The Last of Us doesn't mean I have the right to say that it's not a highly acclaimed game. Or just because that I'm not into, you know, the upcoming announcements of Cyberpunk or the new Cyberpunk and what other game was it? Avengers. Just because like those games weren't like boggling to me doesn't mean they don't have great potential. It's like you gotta like wait until these games come out. It's like these knee-jerk reactions. This cycle's been going on for way too long. Like since I've been doing gaming YouTube, even before that, I've been seeing a whole bunch of knee-jerk reactions. And especially within the past 365 days, we've seen a lot of people complain about a game, and then the game comes out, and it's a whole bunch of sales, and all the people that was complaining quiet down. It's like, that's got to stop. Like, let these games come out and then form your opinion for yourself.
I want to make sure that I'm very clear on this because there's some people trying to say like, oh, well, you're trying to say that people can't have an opinion or be mad. No, you guys can be mad.
You can.
All you want to. If you hate this, if just like Pokemon, look, this is the same arguments that we have with Pokemon Let's Go. You can be upset. You can be mad. You can be angry. You can say whatever you want to say. But the notion that this is not big because you don't think it's big, it's not big, it's not a big, they wasted, like, that's fine if you think they wasted your time, but the notion that it's not big, even though there's clear factors that this could be very big, which big means money or whatever the case is, right? Big means stature, big means people playing, the amount of people, no matter what anybody wants to say how crap The Last of Us Part 2 is, it's a big game. Facts. Yep. You know,
Facts.
because of money, because of how much money they're going to make. Okay, not because of graphics, not because of money, because it is a huge franchise that's going to make a lot of money. So it's big in that terms. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that people aren't allowed to be mad or angry or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I'm clear with that because people are saying that, oh, you're not trying to say that, you know, you're not allowed to say this or people can't. No, you can be mad all you want to. All I'm simply saying is that it's hard to sit there and say that it's not big because you don't like the style of game because it's a mobile game. It's not big because it's a mobile game. That's what I've heard in the chat. It's not big because it's a mobile game.
OJ,
I got
the Pokemon
go ahead,
franchise is the second best-selling game franchise of all time. I can make a take and say God of War that news isn't impressive. I can say Spider-Man game, this new game coming from the PS5 is not that impressive. Or Ratchet and Clank, I can say, hey, any of these PS5 launch games, they're not impressive. They're not big, and I would be right in saying that because they come nowhere near close to the amount of impact that the Pokemon series has towards gaming. And it's funny because certain people will talk about those things and say, hey, those are important. I'm like, well, it's not as effective as this thing is. And then you want to dismiss something this big. And this has the opportunity for mass appeal. And I mean, if anything, if it flops, it's still a huge advertising campaign more than anything else. Like, it's going across every major platform. And Pokemon Go had over 1 billion downloads. I don't understand this. You can't discount this.
I don't understand this comparison to the Diablo situation. First of all, the Diablo game was only on cell phones. This is coming to Switch.
And they announced that at BlizzCon.
Yeah, and they announced it at BlizzCon.
Teasing it like it was Diablo 4.
Yeah, they announced it you pay for BlizzCon, if I'm not correct, right?
It's a convention.
It's a convention that you pay for. So people pay there to see an announcement. This is a free 10-minute web. People didn't travel all over. On top of that, Diablo 3 came out how many years ago? Yeah, 2012. My daughter was born when Diablo 3 came out. I remember because I was playing it in the hospital when she was asleep. So that was 2012, okay? And the last big Pokemon game came out last year. So that's the difference between what happened at BlizzCon and this right here. We got the last big Pokemon game with whatever last year, and people paid to be at BlizzCon, and the game's also coming to Switch, and it's also on mobile. So that comparison that I've seen people make is the flimsiest type of comparison that I've seen. Like, look, like I said, you don't have to like it, and I get that. I don't like this type of game. I'm with you guys on that. But these comparisons and this ridiculous notion that it's a mobile. Blizzard did this. Dude, it's freaking 8 years since Diablo 2 or since Diablo 3, man. Like, what the hell?
Can I jump in with this mobile comment for a second? Because to me, that is highly dismissive towards people who are in the video game industry. There are a lot of people, some of your favorite developers now who are on the come up and joining Nintendo now. They are going to be joining Nintendo, Ubisoft, all these companies in the future. So to dismiss them is like dismissing their come up. So what you're saying is not a big thing because it's a mobile game just because you don't play mobile games. That's like me saying, oh, Xbox Smart Delivery is not a big thing because I don't play Xbox. Oh, PS5 having an SSD, so it's going to load faster. That's not big news because I don't have I'm not going to get a PlayStation 5.
You can't be selective with it.
Exactly. You got to be fair all around the board. And secondly, and I'm going to comment on this because OJ, I'm glad you mentioned this. I wanted to piggyback off a little bit. Yes, it's okay to be upset. No one's saying you can't be upset. But in the same token, if you're publicly expressing how you feel, we can publicly express and respond to that at the same time. In all fair notion. And that's not being disrespectful. That's having a discussion.
That's just like walking in the street. If somebody takes your picture, that's your fault. Like you're in a public area. Like what do you expect? So if you put it out there, somebody has.
I want to make sure, like I said, I want to make sure I'm with you guys. I'm with the people that don't like the announcement. Or I mean, like, it wasn't a huge announcement to me in terms of like what I personally want. I'm not like excited for it or anything like that. Like but it's a 10-minute thing that we didn't pay for, that was free over the internet. That it wasn't like we didn't fly to freaking California to go to a convention and to watch people go on stage in a live presentation. It was a 10-minute presentation for a free game that you can play on Switch.
How the game works,
that you can play on Switch and you can also play on mobile. And Game Freak's not even making it. Like I said, if you're upset because of Tencent, I get that. I get the understanding from Tencent. I get all of that. But to sit there and say this is like, I see more people saying bad marketing. It's not bad marketing.
No,
it's not. It's a 10-minute presentation where they talked about a game. It's not bad
Yeah.
marketing at all. It's a little 10-minute. It might as well have been a video that they just put out there. Who cares? It's not bad marketing. It's not anything like that. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. That's fine. People said that Pokemon Let's Go was bad marketing too when they did stuff like that. That was bad. Oh, 11 million copies later. I guess it's not so bad. People wanted it now. You know what I'm saying? Now people wanted Let's Go Johto. So people said the same type of things that I'm seeing with the same type of complaints that I'm seeing with this type of stuff, like with Let's Go, and people saying and how it's bad and it's not, and they didn't do this right, this right, this right. Okay, that's fine if you think that, but then the reality sets in and it sells 11 million copies, and then what? Oh well.
The other thing you gotta think about is of games. And it's like people talk about how big The Last of Us or God of War other games are. Is a game I was playing all day, CS:GO. You know how many players are playing that consistently for almost 10 years now? You can easily find over 60,000 to 100,000 people playing it at the most busy hour of the day.
That's like Quake. It doesn't go away.
Exactly. That to me is a bigger franchise than Last of Us. Yes, Last of Us is getting bigger Twitch numbers right now. Right now it is, but in 2 months it isn't. It's something like Counter-Strike or Smash or any ever franchise is going to have the same numbers, possibly bigger in time. For Last of Us and God of War just die after a month.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it, but I mean, I don't know. I think, like I said, once again, I see a lot. I'm not going to respond to everybody in the chat. I'm trying to do my best to integrate it. But everybody, like I said, people, I think at this point, some people cannot get past the fact that since they don't think it's big, that it's not big. Like I even saw, I think on somebody compared it to, oh, they think it's bigger than Pokemon Snap. Yes, this game could be way bigger than Pokemon Snap.
Bigger.
Absolutely, this game could crush Pokemon Snap in revenue in a day or two. Yes, that is
bigger potential user base.
The potential user base for Pokemon Snap versus Pokemon Unite, it's not even going to be close. Even for the West.
Pokemon Snap is going to sell better on the console, and then Pokemon Unite is going to do better for the mobile.
Pokemon Unite is going to do better than Pokemon Snap in in downloads, in revenue, and in pretty much every single thing, because it's going to be microtransactioned, all right? And it's going to be on mobile plus Switch. Switch, you only have 57 million people here, or whatever the case is.
Maybe 60
million or whatever it is. Mobile and Switch, you have literally an infinite amount of people that can get the game. You have billions of people, or however many people that own smartphones that can get the game.
And you know we're going to make it a low-powered game, so you can run it on a $50 phone in India.
That's the issue that I have when people are trying to sit there and say, well, they're stupid because they think that this is going to be bigger than Pokemon Snap. Dude, it is bigger than Pokemon. It has the potential to be 1,000,000 times bigger than Pokemon Snap. Just like Pokemon Go is bigger than Pokemon Snap, right? Are we not correct here? Is Pokemon Go not bigger than Pokemon Snap? I think Pokemon Go is going to make so much more money than Pokemon Snap. Like, Pokemon Snap is on a limited install base. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Pokemon Snap is a picture-taking game. It's a picture-taking game with no online multiplayer from what we know about. That's going to be on a limited base of just Switch users. Pokemon Go is on smartphones, so it's infinitely bigger. This is facts, guys. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to interact with the user base and tell you guys and try to give you guys a little bit less about business. I'm telling you right now, there is no businessman in the world that is involved in tech that would say Pokemon Snap is a bigger game than potentially than Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go, or any of the mobile games outside of like Pokemon Cafe Mix. Stuff like that, that's obviously not geared towards making any real relevant money, or Pokemon Sleep or stuff like that. But if you're talking about actual interactive apps, there's a reason why apps and mobile is so huge. It's not, I mean, like I said, I know we're not all mobile gamers, and I'm with you. Like, I get that. But to sit there and even insinuate that Pokemon Snap is bigger than Pokemon Unite, I don't think that's
too. Pokemon Snap, you need to have the nostalgia for it to even heavily care.
Well, yeah. Pokemon Snap. If Pokemon Snap was on mobile, then I'd agree that Pokemon Snap, like if it was on, which would be an interesting idea, by the way. If Pokemon Snap was on mobile and on Switch, then okay, then it's up for interpretation, right? It's up for, okay, then it can be but being only on Switch, the chances of you beating out mobile, I mean, is very, very, very difficult because everybody can play on mobile. You know.
So the goal here, just think about the short term and the long term implications here. So short term, yes, they can make a lot of profit on mobile and Switch combined or whatever, and they make a whole lot of residue on the game for whatever kind of DLC or whatever they want to put in the game. But in addition to that, say this game completely bombs, but there's a ton of downloads. Their goal of making sure nobody in the world, there's nobody in the world that doesn't know who Pikachu is. Like that kind of situation, that the marketing value alone is worth this project being completely dead on arrival for the most part. Everybody could download it and hate it, but everybody will know who Pikachu is. And as long as they continue that practice, that's going to be long-term profit for them for whatever they end up doing going forward. So you can't screw this one up. And there's so many mobile devices out here, and putting it on Switch too, and making it seamless, man.
I mean,
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to make sure that I'm very clear. You know, that I'm very, very clear about what I'm saying, so people don't twist what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is crossplay, Ace. Yes, they announced that in there. There's crossplay between mobile and Switch. I want to make sure that I'm very clear. Like, I don't know what they could have announced because it's too early for the next Pokemon game. It's too early for that. If it's Let's Go, I wasn't in love with. I mean, Let's Go's okay, but I was not in love with Let's Go. So there's still going to be people that hate that. So then we already announced Pokemon. They already announced Pokemon Snap, which people like because it's nostalgic. You just take pictures, but it's nostalgic. Yeah. So they went in a different direction. So I'm not exactly sure. I think more people are one Tencent, and two, how they feel, since it's not something that they like, that therefore it's not worth your 10 minutes or whatever the case was. You know what I'm saying? So I get it from that perspective, but from their perspective, I'm looking at it objectively.
You don't even know you're gonna hate it. That's the other thing too. Like, you don't even know. Like, they've never done this before. It's crazy.
Some people just don't like MOBAs. Some people just don't like. I mean, like, they tried out Arena of Valor.
It's a very niche genre.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's not niche because people love League of Legends.
I would say niche compared to other genres.
It is a niche style of gameplay. Like,
okay,
you have to be really into it.
Niche style of game in terms of, like, there's not a lot of MOBAs. It's not like people are making MOBAs all the time normally. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, like there's different MOBAs, but there are a lot of them.
The genre is how can I say this? Compartmentalized.
Yeah, it's hard to get into, but I guess when you get into it, there is a huge, like, underground fan base of people that just, and not even underground, because like I said, these League of Legends guys and these Dota guys make tons of money, you know?
It's not even just that. It's like, even just into it casually, and once you get into the scene of understanding the mechanics of it, is a whole different thing than any other genre.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things where they're trying something different. They're trying something new. You know, whether it works out or not, we have to wait and see. But you can't knock that. If it does work out, there's obviously tons of millions upon maybe billions of dollars, you know, on the line, or not. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think, and Astrid, I don't think the Pokemon company doesn't care if they like or hate their games. I don't think that's not.
They care about sales numbers, which always do.
I mean, they care about sales numbers, but I think that they care about, I mean, whether they didn't do a good enough job with their games. Now, that's a whole nother question. But to say that the whole everybody at the Pokemon company doesn't care about whether people like their games or not, that's a ridiculous statement. Unless you talk to everybody at the Pokemon company and they all confirm that, it's hard for me to agree with that. But the game is free, so it can't sell. You just download it, and there's microtransactions. So we don't know if it's going to be microtransactions to hell or back. I mean, we don't know how bad they're going to be, but the game is free. So, I mean, people don't have to pay. And that's why these mobile games that all make all this money, you know, they're all free. You ever notice that? Like, yeah. Fortnite's free, and it makes more money than 99% of games out there.
Fortnite, you know? A mobile game, though, or is it just a game that happens to be on mobile?
What? Fortnite?
Yeah, because, like, okay, so there's games that are just happen to be on mobile, like San Andreas. And then there's mobile games. I consider those in two separate categories.
Well, Fortnite was
that was PC.
That project evolved And so once they saw that it was taking off the way that it was, that was the smartest move at that point to just go mobile at that point. So once they saw what their audience was and it was changing, and it wasn't, hey, Gears guys, no Gears guys are trying to play this. It's not happening. There is a much more wide appeal. They put it to where the wide appeal was. I mean, I don't know of any company that wouldn't do that at that point. It got pretty big, and it was getting pretty big pretty quick. Because early on, it was obviously niche the same way Minecraft was. Originally, it was older people my age. Hey, let's figure this thing out, and nobody knew any of the rules or anything like that. And then once it started becoming more mainstream and a lot more updates got added to it, and people knew more about the game and everything, yeah, let's put it on everything because now everybody likes it and everybody wants to play it. It's the same strategy.
Yeah.
Same scenario.
Okay. Aaron says that one of the things he says that they should have handled the presentation by putting it in the last presentation. So make it a 20-minute presentation instead of 2 10-minute presentations. That just seems like semantics to me. What the hell does it matter? Like, it's still, you get the same game at the end of the day.
I think it's just Western audiences just being selfish.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's semantics. It's still the same game. It's the same thing. It's the same presentation. It's the same thing. But you put it into one presentation instead of two 10-minute presentations or one 10-minute two 10-minute presentations or one 20-minute presentation.
And they end up breaking them up anyway. So when they do the Nintendo Direct or whatever, all the individual announcements are split up as individual videos later on anyway. So like,
I don't know. I guess I don't subscribe to the notion that they handle this presentation bad because I'm angry at the game because it should have been in the what does it matter? The game was gonna come no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean, if you say that maybe they should have cut it down, then made it less of a deal. Once again, which goes back to the notion that since you don't think it's a big deal, they can't spend a little bit more time than you would have liked on it, which is the false premise that MOBAs aren't going to be big or are not big. And it all goes back to that. I think that's at the end of the day, that's what it goes back to. People say that it's not for West or whatever the case is. MOBAs can be big in the West too. People play League of Legends. People play Arena of Valor here in the West. Maybe it's not as big as in whatever, but it's a global presentation. It's not just for West or just for East. It was global presentation. It was for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, it's not about West and East. It's a global presentation that they're doing. Like I said, I don't like the game myself. But to sit there and say that, like, I mean, what do? You just don't like, at the end of the day, you don't like the game and you don't like Tencent. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just saying that. They
had big expectations, man. That's what it was. They're like, oh, well, hey, they're going to do another. Okay, I want to see it. And then it ends up not being what they want. And I don't know. I mean,
okay, so he clarified. He said he's talking about the backlash. I don't know, because Pokemon Let's Go got a lot of backlash too, and they didn't handle it this type of way too. I mean, so I disagree with the notion that there wouldn't be backlash. The only way that there's not going to be backlash for any type of Pokemon announcement is if you give them something that they already know. That is factual based off of the announcements that we've had so far. When Pokemon Let's Go was announced, there was backlash. They didn't handle it in the same way, but there was still backlash. When we got Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is exactly what people were asking for, there was backlash. When we got, it doesn't matter what they do. There will be backlash unless you get exactly what you've already gotten before, which would be the same type of Pokemon game, the same type of national dex, and for those people that don't care about the national dex and all, graphics. There's backlash for everything that they'll do. It doesn't matter how it was done. There would have been backlash. Plain and simple, there would have been backlash. Pokemon Snap didn't get backlash because it's something that we already know. We already know Pokemon Snap.
Going to get backlash at some point for some little feature or something, even though we're nostalgic for it.
If they announce a Pokemon game, here's how you get zero back. You want real zero backlash? Here's how you get zero backlash. You get a game that looks as good as Breath of the Wild, has 1,000 Pokemon in it, all new animations, and it's coming out next year, and the online plays all revamped, everything's balanced to perfection, and you get 1,000 Pokemon, all new animations, graphics like Breath of the Wild, big open world. That is the only way that an announcement gets no backlash, in my opinion.
I want to know what you're
smoking. You gotta have ray tracing too, though. You gotta have ray tracing. Throw all that in there. Might as well.
I want to know what you're smoking, OJ, because the Pokemon company's never going to do that.
Maybe in 10 years, 15 years.
No, they're not going to.
And maybe it'll be 1440.
That's the only way. Like I said, it's not based off of there's no other way, because Pokemon Let's Go, there was backlash. Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is exactly what people wanted when it comes to a traditional. With Let's Go, the problem was there's no real Pokemon wild battles. We want our wild battles. We want our capture. Okay, you get that with, there's not our national dex. There's not. I mean, it doesn't matter there's going to be something that there's going to be backlash. They lied about this. They did this. It doesn't matter. Like I said, the only way is, like I said, that's the only way that there's going to be something that there's no backlash. Every single Pokemon, graphics like Breath of the Wild or better, open world, and we get it right now. We don't have to wait 5 years or 3 years or however long it's gonna. That's the only way. Any other announcement outside of that will be backlash, plain and simple. Pokemon Sword and Shield and Pokemon Let's Go taught me that. What did people complain about Pokemon Sword and Shield? The graphics were super trash. We need better graphics. You know what I'm saying? Like, national dex. We need national dex. So if you make another Pokemon game that's like that but doesn't have what those people wanted, there's backlash. So, I mean, there's no way to avoid. You're never going to avoid backlash from fans. If you announce a different type of game like Let's Go, there's backlash. So, like,
exactly.
What does it matter? Like, at the end of the day, there's always going to be something where people complain about, which is fine. People can complain and argue and do whatever they want. The Pokemon fan base, from what I understand, like I said, they'll never be happy with it until what I just says happens, which I think is what we all want, right? I think at the end of the day, that would be dope, right? So
just think about it this way: does anybody here not like Breath of the Wild? Is everybody? The consensus pretty much is that's a pretty decent game. And
no, it's trash. Good. It's trash.
So
it's hot trash.
When the game came out,
the game is trash.
There was backlash, like people trying to say that there was a visual downgrade and all this. I'm like, whoa, what is happening right now?
Maybe on the Wii U, not on the Switch.
They were saying Switch too. They're just saying, period. In general, the game doesn't look like how it looked during one presentation from 2016, I believe.
I like to get my elites involved, man, but can y'all stop peppering me with the same thing? But the Pokemon Company said that this was a big thing for. The Pokemon Company said it's their next big thing. That's what they think. Whether you think that or not, because I'm done. I'm done with you elites. I appreciate you guys' support. No, I am saying the same thing. Whether you think that is big to them, it is a big deal. They think it is a big deal. Whether the hardcore fans think it's a big deal or not, that's up to whatever they feel. They feel, based on the style of game that it is that it is a big deal. Whether you can disagree with that, but they think it is. Because it's made by Tencent. Tencent is the biggest gaming company in the world. MOBAs are some of the biggest games for microtransactions and League of Legends. They think it's a big deal. Whether you think it's a big deal or not is not the point. I'm not fanboying. I'm saying facts. I don't like the game personally. I'm not fanboying. That idiot that's in the chat that's telling me that I'm not. I'm simply teaching you some business. All right? Trust me on this one. They think business-wise is a big deal for them. Period.
There's a phrase for that. Your
expectation. Stop with the bullshit in the chat, guys. Damn. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. I agree with you guys. I don't like the game either. But please, get your mind out of this. Well, I don't like it because it's not the big thing for... No, they think it's them, not me. I don't care. I'm not going to love the game or anything like that. They think, because it's Tencent, because they can make a ton of money, they think it's a big deal. And it's cross-platform on Switch and mobile. They think it's a big deal. They thought it's a big deal because you can play it on your Switch, you can play it on mobile. Not me. So stop with the BS, please. I don't want to hear another freaking person trying to tell me, but they told stop. Like, I'm trying to be nice to y'all, and I explained it so many times. I'm trying to incorporate y'all, but y'all making me want to ignore some of you guys in the chat, bruh. All right, I'm done on that. Anybody that tags me and says that crap again, I'm done. I'm not freaking answering that again. Like I said, and it's elites too. That's the thing. If it was just great peeps, I'm like, whatever. But it's elites trying to sit there and call me out, make me seem like I'm stupid or something. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what the hell I'm talking about. All right? So you guys continue on here. I'm good on this. I'm not speaking on this anymore.
Go ahead, Abaddon.
I think I'm just gonna eat my noodles and be quiet.
I'm so sick of. I literally said 3 or 4 times what the process is, but people can't get it out of their head that they don't like it. Core fans don't like it, so therefore it's not big to them. Like, what the hell, dude?
Okay, let me just say this. Let me just give kind of like just the easier version, the nicer version to you guys. So you guys can get some balance. He's playing bad cop. I'll play good cop right now.
I played good cop. I played good cop. I said I understand. I feel you guys. I don't like. I said how many times did I say that?
You did.
I played good cop.
I got you. Okay, guys. When a business says this is going to be big, that is a tagline to market their product. No business, when they're introducing a new product, is going to say, oh, it's just okay. It's not the best thing in the world. No business, no smart business, at least, is going to do that. If they spent time and they partnered with another company, they're going to say this is a big announcement. And in technicality, it is. Because what other games do you really see cross-playing mobile with the Switch? Not many. That is a big announcement. And the fact that it's Pokemon, literally, the fact that it's Pokemon doing this, that is a big announcement. Now, the problem that I see is this game did not meet up to your expectations. And the real issue here is your expectations are blinding you from the actual facts of what's happening right now. That's all. That's all it is. Is your expectations were let down, and it's only an emotional response to those expectations being let down. And you know what? I understand that, and that's why I said, let this come. When this game comes out, let's hear how you guys really feel. Because right now, this is just an emotional response. You wanted to see something, you didn't get what you want. You know what it's like? I'll give you a perfect analogy. Think of it this way. Think of this happened to all of us during Christmas, right? You get that big box, right? And you think it's a new game console, right? Guess what it is? It's just a big box of toys. You thought you were going to get a new game, but it's a big box of toys. And you are flipping out because you did not get what you thought you was going to get, what you expected you was going to get. That's all this is. So there's a little bit of psychology, some analogies there for you. That's all this is. Does it make the toy a bad toy? No, it doesn't. It's probably a pretty dope toy, but it wasn't what you was expecting. That's all that is.
So, and that was the phrase I was getting at. Not a well-known phrase, but typically speaking, for fans of anything, your expectations are not that company's CEO. You just have to understand that anytime that somebody announces anything, or why they announce something, or why a product is the way that it is, especially if it still is going to end up being successful or beneficial to the company in the long run, you just have to see it in those terms. You as an individual are your expectations, or you as a person are not their CEO. So you can't expect or have your expectations always match 100% what a company is trying to do. And what's so funny is a lot of the times they know something ahead of time that you don't. Like, you're like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this tape. I don't want to play with a controller like this and move my arm around, blah, blah, blah. And 100 million sold later, yes, you do. You just didn't know. So
I'm moving on from this. So y'all can sit there and cry all you want to. I don't give a damn anymore. I don't care. Y'all can complain, cry, and get mad and say it's horrible marketing, blah, blah, blah. When the news comes out that the game netted $5 billion in revenue, then all of a sudden they'll be like, well, at the time, I said, just like Let's Go. I'm going to say, just like Let's Go. Y'all did the same thing. And what did I say to you guys? No, I doubt this game will even sell 5 million. Y'all did the same thing to me with this. Whatever y'all like. Okay, that's fine. Y'all right. Okay.
And they bought it.
Horrible marketing. They did the wrong thing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Fine. It's going to suck. Nobody's going to play. It's not going to... Okay. We'll see. I'm done. Because y'all said the same thing to me with Let's Go.
Let's Go is the first Pokemon game I bought in years.
Y'all said the same thing with Let's Go. And y'all got bodied on that. So I'm good. I'm straight. I'm going to wait on that. And then I'm going to call you. I'm going to call back once we get back to this, next time. Because it's a free-to-play game that people are stupidly going to spend their damn money on. Because it's a free-to-play game. Like, oh, well, I've got it for free anyway, so I might as well spend some money on this level 25 Charizard or something. I don't know, level 30 something. The people are going to do that. But whatever. whatever. Okay, whatever on that one. All right, we'll see. All right, so next up we've got Smash Ultimate Min Min, and I know Baron wanted to be here to talk about this, but he's not here. So here's the thing. This is so funny because I apparently I put out a political opinion, a controversial and political opinion when I talked about this on my video that I had about was Min Min the right pick. So essentially I said, look, yo, it would have been dope if Twin Tail was in. I get it. I understand why Min Min's in. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a popular character. Mr. Yabuki wanted Min Min in there, but I just thought it would be dope to have an African descent character in there. But aside from that, because I don't want to make that about the, you know, the whole thing here. Aside from that, I still think that Min Min's cool. You know, Min Min's a cool character, and she's coming in. Thank you for the 5, Mr. Daniel Espinoza. Appreciate the 5. I think Min Min is still a cool character. You know, Min Min's still a cool character that, but I just felt that Twin Tail would have been a better pick. That's just my thought process. I think she would have been a better pick. This is who I like. I think that her ability to, you know, slow down incoming projectiles is dope too. So I would have liked Min Min, but apparently that was a political opinion, which I don't want to get into too much, but people were saying that's political and
What is that political?
I don't know. There was a guy that I know that said that, and there's a couple people that were disliking the video. A lot of people didn't dislike it, but I just felt that, like, yo, it would have been dope to have Min Min in there because I think the only actual, like, I mean, he even went as far as to say, he's like, oh, well, dude, like, Ganon's in there and Ganon's black. I'm like, bro, Ganon is not of African descent. Ganon,
He's not.
Wait, what?
No, go to my video. Go to my video. Read it. He said no. His comment was Ganon's black. I'm like, bro. Ganon is not black, dude. He's just the. That's not even his default skin color. He's like green or something like that. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, is Mr. Game & Watch, is that a black person too? Because Mr. Game & Watch is black as well.
Mr. Popo might as well be black.
So so I'm guessing that means that what about Dark Link? You know what I'm saying? Like a Dark Link. He's black too, right?
I heard that thing too, and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, now the closest thing we have is Doc because he's assisting Little Mac.
No, the closest thing we have is it's a different color. Inkling and Rodon. Inkling and Rodon.
And the Villager. That's it.
And Villager, Inkling, Rodon. Those are that's what's in there. Which is, like I said, it's cool. That's fine. You know, I get it, but I don't think it
reflects the industry more than anything else at this point.
But that's more like they don't even have. But if you really want to be real with it, but they don't even have names.
Yeah.
Think about it. They don't even have names. So you have nameless characters, and you just have skins that you can use the Mii fighters. That's all you have with that. Yep. For people wanted an actual character, and Twin Tail. Honestly, I feel like that would have been cool. That would have been cool. Like, this is what I said on Twitter. I haven't been playing Smash video games that much lately, so I wasn't too attached to it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's Min Min. But and not even get political, I can understand why people were upset. And I do want to say that it's rather insensitive to laugh at people. And yes, to make this public, I'm talking to anyone who you was laughing at people who did not get Twin Tail. Yo, that's racially insensitive. I'm gonna call it what it is.
Yeah. It doesn't help that she was just a popular character anyway, because I mean, she went viral like as soon as she was announced. Like, so she became unofficially she became the mascot. So it's just weird. Like, nobody's checking for Spring Man. Like, there's not a thing. So it was always going to be Twin Tail.
And like I said, at the end of the video, like, I still said, yo, Min Min's cool. Like, you know,
she
like
is.
Mr. Yabuki, he wanted Min Min. So, and I even said, like, I said multiple times, I was like, Japan, they're not thinking about it in this character, African descent. They don't live in a multicultural society. They don't care.
Yeah, they're not worried.
People here in the West, Western developers, they actively try, right? Whereas Japan, they don't. So I completely understand. I just said it would have been dope if they did, but they didn't. So at the end of the day, they picked who they wanted to. Mr. Yabuki picked who he wanted to pick,
Respect.
and that's fine. And that's cool. But that doesn't mean I have to sit there and say, okay, yeah, I 100% agree with it. Just like people in the chat here don't 100% agree with what the Pokemon Company did and what their picks for what games. So I don't want to, you know. So it's the same thing. It's cool. It's still cool though. It's dope.
I'm just gonna be honest. Like, my disappointment wasn't that it was a twin. It wasn't any particular character from ARMS. My disappointment is that it was a ARMS character.
Oh, because you don't like ARMS.
No, not that I don't like ARMS. It's such a little known franchise within Nintendo, and I
It's
don't feel
brand new
it.
though.
I don't feel it earned its spot, in my opinion. But again, I understand why they did it. But ARMS to me has always been very boring and not in depth or anything.
Okay. Well, obviously Nintendo probably thinks differently.
I mean, they think differently.
I
But
mean, well, because it's interesting because Fire Emblem characters started getting added before a Fire Emblem game even broke a million.
Yeah,
million
I was
units.
gonna say that Nintendo.
I love Fire Emblem.
We've
Nintendo
got like
has a
5
habit-
million Fire Emblem characters, and that series didn't do anywhere near as good as ARMS did for its first game. You know, so
And
I
since
know ARMS did well. It's just a boring game.
But since Melee, Nintendo's been known to like add characters to kind of like promote like even some of the newer franchises. You even look at they did that in Melee a little bit. They did that in Brawl. They really started doing that in Brawl, and then definitely it was really apparent in Smash 4. Smash 4, it's like it was just precursor. Like when we saw Cloud, that was some type of sign that you're going to see Final Fantasy on Nintendo, because it's like you've always gotten that. There was always people who are on the Nintendo console. So I felt like ARMS, to me, they did earn their spot, because ARMS, for a record, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Street Fighter 5? It was Street Fighter 5, right? They outsold Street Fighter 5 in their launch.
Initially, I think
Initially.
Initial Street Fighter 5. Now, I mean, the game's like $12, so
yeah,
you know.
And ARMS still stayed at 60. On top of that, ARMS still stayed at 60. It's going strong. Like they still have their party things. It's like, for me, ARMS had great potential. It just wasn't as pushed as their other games, and for probably good reasons and everything. It was a different game.
It didn't review as well,
and they were testing it too. It was the same thing as like a 1-2 switch. They were like, okay, this can kind of be our Nintendo Land /
it felt like a tech demo from what I played.
Yeah, they're like, hey, let's throw it out here and see what we do. And with it being a new IP as well, I'm pretty sure they want to put their creativity out there and start trademarking all these characters and everything. And once it did eventually take off and sell over 1 million copies, now they're like, well, yeah, we need to advertise this, and push it out there, because it was the same thing with Splatoon. Splatoon was at like 4 million for a real long time, and then from whatever reason, out of nowhere, it started exploding a little bit more. And then Splatoon 2, obviously, took it to the stratosphere. So it takes time and dedication more than anything else. And once you see that people like what it is, then give them more of the like about the game. Give the characters in that game more exposure elsewhere, and then you'll get benefits down the line.
Quick note on that. I just want to make sure that Splatoon 1. Are you talking about Splatoon 1 sold 4 million? Or are you talking about what's Splatoon?
Yes, Splatoon 1.
I think no, Splatoon 1. I don't think that game sold 4 million. I think it sold like 1 million something.
1 million Splatoon 1?
Yeah, Splatoon 1. I think it sold like 1. Let me double check on that though. Here I have the sales numbers right here.
Yeah, because it was like the third. I thought it was the third best-selling game on
the Wii U. Let's see here. If you go to top selling titles and you go to Wii U, Splatoon 1. No, you're right. What the hell am I talking, dude? What the hell am I talking about? You're 100% right, dude. Sorry, forget what I said. You're like 1,000,000% right. You're right, Shadowfox. It sold 5 million, almost 5 million.
It was stuck at 4 for a while. Like it was just stuck there, and I don't know what.
Yeah. It sold 4.95 million. Sorry, I'm thinking of something completely different. My bad. Something completely different. I messed up on that one. Sorry about that, man.
I had to step away. We talk about ARMS still?
Yeah. We're talking about.
Yeah, but we kind of moved to Splatoon a little bit because we were talking about how they're treating their new IPs, and I was hoping that Nintendo was going to hold on to Wonderful 101, but that looks like they're moving on their own.
They never owned Wonderful 101. I thought they just sort of.
It's co.
They just
it's owned by them, and then they moved it to they let them use it, let them take it.
Yeah, it's a Nintendo trademark.
Yeah, it's Nintendo trademark, and it's still there, but they don't. The Wonderful 101 is definitely more of a co-ownership thing now at this point than it just being singularly owned by Nintendo. similar to Astral Chain. But Astral Chain had a deal, I think, from the beginning, which it was co-owned, whereas Wonderful 101, it was 100% Nintendo's IP. But now it's a co-ownership between the IP. But, you know, it is what it is.
So with a co-ownership of Nintendo, could Platinum or whoever theoretically move the game to PC but keep it Nintendo exclusive on console?
Only if Nintendo wanted
Nintendo,
it to.
if Nintendo agrees, if they go pitch it to Nintendo and they say yes.
Which, you know, it's possible that could happen, like Wonderful 101. But isn't the game's already on PC? So
yeah, I'm saying, but like a game. Chain. Well, like a Bayonetta 3 or something.
Yeah, like, absolutely. If Nintendo felt like it, they could, absolutely.
Because it's not hurting the Switch sales to have it on Steam as well.
Well, Nintendo might think differently, but
yeah,
you know, it's their call. At the
end of the day. I might buy it twice then if there's cross save.
It's their call. But let's go ahead and let's move on. Unless anybody else have anything on Min Min? I think she looks. Aside from that, I think Min Min looks dope. I think she looks cool. She's coming out on Monday, so we're gonna play Smash on Monday. So
I really like the way they detailed how she plays, and that looks extremely interesting to me. I've never seen a Dhalsim character have so many ways to you can rush down with her. That's just ridiculous. So
can we just talk about Sakurai's home?
Yeah, his
man, I want that entertainment center.
Yeah,
I want that living room.
His gaming room was he has 2 homes, by the way. That's his.
Oh yeah.
That's his guest / entertainment house, and then he has his house for his wife and his and family and stuff like that. But when he wants to, so Sakurai is the ultimate like sleek, smooth operator. He doesn't. He's done a good job over the years of not flossing or not flexing. But I mean. The man is pretty. He's living good. He's living good. He's got a Batmobile. Toby Fox didn't say what he but I think it's a Lamborghini. He's got a all black Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? He's got 2 homes, and he's got that dope gaming. Like I said, Sakurai doesn't flex, but the man is definitely styling. He's definitely he's a well-paid man. You know, which is good. He deserves every. I mean, I don't know if you guys know what happened when he made Super Smash Bros. Melee. Then it was like, we need Melee in 2 days, please. And Sakurai was like, okay.
Yeah. Didn't it give him like only a year and a half to make it?
Yeah, they gave him about a year and a half to make it.
And that game is still revered as the best game.
Yeah.
They were still upset that it wasn't a launch game.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be at launch. Like,
it was supposed to be a launch game, but it was supposed to be. I mean, I can't hate the man too much. Sakurai didn't pick Min Min, so that's another thing too. Mr. Yabuki picked. Nintendo picked.
He doesn't pick any of them, does he?
No, he doesn't pick any. He didn't pick any of the new characters, any of the DLC. Sorry, DLC. He didn't pick any of those. He might have maybe picked some of the new, some of the new characters that got in. He didn't specify that, but he didn't pick any. He didn't pick any of the DLC.
Yeah.
He
just wants to make him work.
Can we give a shout out to him for selecting whoever the art team is? Because they figure out a way to make all these different franchises look like they fit inside of Smash. It's just crazy because all these games have completely different looks, and they change the look just enough to where it works like right inside of Smash Bros. Universe. That is amazing. I haven't seen that work that well in any crossover game. Not that there's many crossover games, but I haven't.
It's hard enough to get the art right in your own game. Look at Street Fighter V. That game. Just look at Laura's hands. That's all I gotta say. Look the art, even getting it for your characters, and look at Chun-Li in that game. Look at Ken. Look at the characters. Look at the characters, and does that look right to you guys? I mean, you look at Street Fighter V. Just look at those characters. It's hard to even if you're trying to do a different art style, right? Something you're not trying to copy what you did before. You're trying to do something new. It's hard to even what Shadow Fox is saying. It's hard to even get the art right of something new that you want. They're taking arts from this game, and putting it all into a Smash type of art, right? Or a Smash type of game, which is just incredibly hard. It's not easy because, like I said, sometimes it's hard to even change the art style of your own game, of what you want to do. I mean, like I said, Street Fighter V looks ridiculous. Some characters just look absolutely stupid, in how they look. I mean, Ken's hair looks like it's made out of like fake noodles. You know what I'm saying?
Ken looks better in Smash than he does in Street.
Exactly. He absolutely looks better. Then. Yo, okay. We got to go over a couple donations though before we get to the next thing because we had a big one rolling through here. So let me get through some of these donations. The alert sounds are off since I do have guests on. But Juiceman Vaughn donated $2 and says, it's clear that the Pokemon Company wants to diversify the brand into different types of genres and different ways to play. MOBAs generate a lot of money, so here we are. That's pretty much at the end of the day. But people were arguing that it was the way that it was revealed that was not a good thing, which caused backlash, which, once again, it doesn't matter. There was going to be backlash regardless. So, I mean, whatever. You know, even if I agree with that, there's always backlash. So, Mac Mega donated $5 and says, I think this is a misfire by Nintendo and Sakurai to sell us the second Fighters Pass. At least Joker was a cool-looking character from a legendary, critically acclaimed franchise with a marketable name. Not much hype surrounding ARMS and Min Min. So you think it was a misfire for them to put in? I don't know. I mean, it depends on what they want to do with the franchise going forward. If they want to continue with the franchise going forward, then it wasn't a misfire because the game sold over 2 million. What we know, the last time that we saw it, which was in 2017, the game sold 2 million copies. So it's a multi-million selling franchise, you know, that they might want to continue going forward, and Smash Brothers is a big marketing factor for that. So whether you think it's a misfire or not, I mean, it's a multi-million franchise, selling franchise. Whether you think it was bad or whatever the case is, that's fine. But like I said, Fire Emblem was in Smash Brothers before it even sold. It never sold 2 million. The best-selling Fire Emblem game of all time is Fire Emblem Fates, which sold, I think, about 2.7, 2.8 million, which Fire Emblem Three Houses is just about to catch. So it took them this many entries to even get to 2 million in sales, whereas ARMS got to 2 million very quickly on a small install base when it launched. So I see what you're saying. It might be a misfire, but then again, it might not. I mean, because we've had franchises that have less sales get in. So anybody else want to comment on that?
This is the best selling Smash Bros. Game so far. So the way that it's tracking. So and it's obviously going to be one of the best selling fighting games of all time. So say what you will about whatever their decisions are, but obviously they're benefiting from them in some way, shape, or form. And no other fighting game is doing what they're doing. So that will be the
not even close
for me. Not even close.
I don't know. I think that it's okay for Nintendo to put in. I mean, they already have most of the characters from their main franchises, right? It looks like they're going on a 2000. And you know, to be honest, then I guess that then Shulk was a misfire too. Then right? Because there's been no Xenoblade game.
Xenoblade was like,
and then there should not be another Xenoblade. There should be no other Xenoblade characters either because Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sold less than ARMS debut. From the last sales that we know of, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is not as big as ARMS. So that means we shouldn't get Rex or we shouldn't get any Xenoblade characters because none of them are bigger than ARMS in terms of sales. So, I mean,
Xenoblade almost never came here. Yeah, that's just oh man.
So I mean, we got a Xenoblade character. So I mean, and people want more Xenoblade characters, right? So
right.
So I mean, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. But I think what's it called? I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think that's not necessarily a wrong viewpoint to have. I can see it from your point of view. You know, like I can see what you're saying, Mac. I can see what you're saying. Thank you for the $5 though. I appreciate it. Shamsa donated $50. So thank you so much, Shamsa, for the big $50 donation. Once again, we really do appreciate that. Just don't have the notifications in terms of the sound on, but thank you for that, Renangon. I appreciate that. You guys give some love, respect, and emotes in the chat to Shamsa for that big $50 donation. Thank you for supporting the show. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I know you're getting back from, might be a little late for you, or no, actually early in the morning for you, so maybe you're just waking up. So thank you for joining us tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into the next topic here, guys. How are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good on time. It's only been an hour. All right, cool. The Last of Us Part 2. So who here has played the game? Anybody here? Nobody's played the game.
Just watching it count.
Just watching it just counts. Okay, so I'll let you guys. I will I will go first. So I will set up this premise here. So without spoiling the game to you guys, I don't know if I know Big Z. I know you watched my review. I don't know if Shadow Fox or Avalon, if you guys had time to watch my review or not. But without spoiling the game,
I watched the review, but okay. I've watched countless other.
Okay, so this is if you think spoiler alert. If you think this is a spoiler, because I'm going to talk about Abby. I'm not going to spoil Abby, but I'm going to say what the major problem that I have with this game overall is, because now everyone's finishing The Last of Us, right? A lot of you guys have started playing last week. Maybe you finished it this week. If you put in about 5 hours a day, you would have finished it by now because it's about a 20-25 hour game. So I'm not going to spoil it, But the biggest problem that I have, and please don't spoil it in the chat, is that Abby's inclusion in this game is very unsatisfying. And Neil Druckmann came out today and talked about how the leaks and how it affected him. He said that it was the worst day of his life. You know what? And I feel for the man. His game got leaked. They see a bunch of stuff. There's context missing. But at the end of the day, whatever happened, happened. So, based off of what you guys know, because I know some of you guys know this thing and whatever the case is, what are your thoughts? You know, now we have the review scores of The Last of Us Part 2. And based off of what you've seen, what are your thoughts on this game? Is it overhyped? Is it not as good as what you think it is? Based on what you've seen so far, because it has a 95 average on Metacritic right now, doing very good. It's probably gonna, it could be very much game of the year. I think Cyberpunk's probably gonna win it though, but it's definitely gonna be in the game of the year running. What are your thoughts? I know Shadow Fox, you said that you watched my review and you've watched other parts. You know what knows what happened. So what are your thoughts, man?
I've watched the entire game streamed, and I've watched multiple takes of people both defending a lot of decisions about the story in the game and whatnot, and some of the gameplay decisions made as far as forcing how the story or how the gameplay funnels you to certain from set piece to set piece. A lot of people didn't like the decisions that were made. A lot of people were upset that, hey, here's this big open sprawling area, but you only get a piece of it. All right, move on. Now you need to go from point A to point B. A lot of people are upset about that kind of introduction to flow as well. Like, you're going to give me this and then take it away. So that was one of a lot of the complaints that I've seen. To me, this was never going to be an important factor for me more than anything else. I just think that all it did was confirm a lot what a lot of the leaks were saying with regards to them being upset and whatnot, and it saving them a lot of time with being frustrated because unfortunately, to me, now I'm an old school gamer, so forgive me here. Unfortunately, story is a driving force of this game, and I personally don't like that. And I found favor in the first Last of Us game because I found favor in how the game played and how you can max out abilities in that game, which, for all intents and purposes, was probably not the focus of that game when they developed it, because they developed it a very specific way for certain people. And it just happened, for whatever reason, the way the gameplay was designed to fit me. It just wasn't enough of those scenarios. There wasn't enough time for me to take advantage of everything that I was doing in the gameplay systems because it was too busy trying to show me set pieces and show me the environment, which the environment, I think, told the story of the first game way better than the cutscenes did. I'm not too sure on, from what I understand, it's going to be just as good or better from the second game based on what I've seen of it. But if that's the case, then I don't really need all these cutscenes and all these jumps to tell me everything else too. I can see that through the environment as well, but this is what they chose to do. This is their direction. I'm more frustrated with that was the focus versus making the combat stellar. Just saying, hey, look, let's just make a whole bunch of really great combat, and all of the story would be more from, hey, I hear a voiceover over here or whatever, and that kind of stuff kind of fleshes out the story versus we're going to this cutscene, you're gonna like it, and you don't have a choice. You have to like it. Also, we're changing the whole game up, and you're gonna have to like it. I don't know. I just think that probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It'll probably rub me the wrong way once I get a chance to play it. But as long as I'm still able to, hey, look, do I get to kill spores? Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to kill spores, and I want to do it in different ways, and I want to max out trees and cause max damage and all that other kind of stuff. That, to me, that was always the best part of the game to me. So, and from what I understand,
you're gonna like The Last of Us Part 2 then. If that was the best part for you, this game, talk about blowing stuff up, man. You get
then I'm gonna love it.
Oh, you blow the hell out of things in this game. You can blow things up to smithereens in this game, dude. You can, like, I think I was talking to you a little bit before, but you can get like there's a skill tree where you get arrows to where you can craft arrows that have explosions on them. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get that. You can get Ellie's pipe, or not pipe. I think what's it called, Abby has pipe bombs. You can get Ellie's little remote mines that she has. Those things, you can power those things up. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get all sorts of boom explosion type of stuff. You know, like it's great. And one of them, Abby, she has a very familiar weapon that if you played the first game with Joel, you know, he gets something, you know?
Okay.
Abby gets one of those too, you know? So,
wow.
And it's pretty cool.
Now that sounds extremely fun, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like Gaming Press did not rate that game that way for that reason. And they're like, oh, well, this game is not fun, and it's this event, and you have to come to terms with it. Bruh, like, can I kill spores, and is it cool to do that? Like, I don't understand what has happened. I think that's more of an issue, not necessarily with the game, but the culture around the game and the culture around the game companies, and even the vocal minorities as far as customers go, that is causing all of the issues that surround this. So we have the leak because of backlash internally in the company. We have backlash of the game itself because they made the game extremely story driven. So that's the critical part of the game, and the only reason a lot of people were playing it. And then you have a culture that says, hey, if you have a great story type situation and it's forced in our faces type situation, and it has these quote unquote social issues that we want on the checkbox, then we'll give you, hey, you are this level of achievement as far as artistic vision. And I'm like, it's a computer program. Like, how well does the computer program execute? I mean, does it do that first? And I don't. It's so frustrating to me because that it is evolved into what it is right now, and unfortunately, people are more so the problem than the actual resulting product that you have. So I think that once I will review this game, I'm going to review it as a video game, straight up. And I'm probably not going to mince any words, and everything that I see with regard to story and stuff like that, I'm probably going to call out what I want to see. And
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, I can't give spoilers obviously right now, but yeah, I'm going to dedicate my time to doing a very specific review for this.
I would love for you to play the game, so because I want to do like a spoiler cast, and I did one with Dreamcast Guy and John and RGT today. I think it might already be up on Dreamcast Guy's channel. I'm not sure. Make sure you guys check that out on Dreamcast Guy's channel. But I want to do one. So maybe at some point, I don't know, when you finish it, I might do multiple ones. I'm not sure. I might do one by myself, but I definitely want to talk more about some of the stuff, because it seems like there's a big, especially with my user base, obviously, that there is a big disconnect between people people saying, oh, since the story's bad, it ruins the whole experience. And I don't agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I agree that since the story is bad, that can affect your experience with the game, but the gameplay is good. The gameplay is not bad. I don't think the gameplay is bad. Now, if you think the gameplay is bad, that's fine. That's an opinion. But if you like The Last of Us Part 1 gameplay, if you felt that was good enough, this one absolutely crushes. It feels better to move. It feels less robotic. It feels like you have way more upgrades. You have way more skills. You have way better crafting options. You have just better guns. You have better bombs. You have better like the way that bow and arrow, the way that works is way better. The way that you aim, because it used to work like a little like line would shoot like at an angle. Now you just it's just like it's like Legend of Zelda type of bow and arrow. Like it's just yeah. Like I mean, there is a little bit of an arc or trajectory, but I mean it's still the gameplay is still significantly better, and the stealth crushes it. The stealth is so much better. It feels like there's even like more, even in the linear parts, it feels like there's more open-ended areas to do stealth. There's one part, which I'm not trying to spoil it, guys, but there's one really cool stealth part where you're getting hunted by these the cultists, which they showed in the gameplay. They showed them, and their AI is actually pretty dope. Like they'll sit there and they'll do different types of whistles to try to locate where you are. And like you have to literally go Metal Gear Solid 3 on them. It's like in a jungle area. It's a really good part in the game, because like you feel like, oh snap, like these, and they don't miss, by the way. Like their bows and arrows, they hit you every single time. They don't miss. They're marksmen, So I think like stuff like that brings the gameplay to something that was not in the first game. The first game was just you're fighting the infected or you're fighting certain types of people. You know, this one you're fighting these crazy cultist people. You're fighting the wolves. You're fighting, well, that's a spoiler. You're fighting infected. You're fighting different types of just various different types of factions that all think somewhat differently, try to flank you and things like that. So to me, while okay, I get it, story bad, blah blah blah, I hate it. The gameplay is definitely not bad. I don't feel that it's bad gameplay in my opinion. You know, I don't feel like it's a horrible game. You know, but I docked it 2 whole points. If you watch my review, I docked it 2 points for the story being trash. I think that's a lot, you know, to be for a bad story. I think some people are going a little bit too far. And no, I disagree. I think if a game can have a bad story and it still be worth playing. Like that's
Gears of War.
Yeah,
like they're not even trying, but the game is so. You go from every set piece introduces you to a new way to go blow stuff up. But I mean, the story. I don't think that was even their first and foremost thing they were trying to do when they made that game.
I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. Like this game, I never felt like I was sitting there watching story more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
While story is a lot of this game, and I think that can be skewed by the media, how you guys see it, because you guys are seeing cutscenes. The game is mostly you playing. I've actually sat like Metal Gear Solid has way more cutscenes and way longer cutscenes than The Last of Us. This game, there's cutscenes and there's stuff that happens, but it's never too long. There are some a bit longer ones, but it's never too long. They put you back in the hands down. There are boring parts where you're playing, but it's essentially a cutscene. There are some parts like that where there's no combat, there's nothing like that. You're just
it's just scripting.
Yeah,
scripted
it's
events.
just scripted events. You know, so if you include that, then yeah. But most of the time you're playing. It's not like I said. There's times in Metal Gear where you put the controller down. You're like, all right. You know, like, you know, it is what it is there. So it's a lot of gameplay. It's a lot of gameplay too. I think that's one thing that might be skewed a little bit by the leaks and all that. There's a lot of gameplay in the game. Like I said, you don't have to like the gameplay. I understand not everybody likes it, but I think there's plenty of gameplay, to be had. But no, the AI is not exactly like the Last of Us one. That's incorrect.
I got one more take on this too, and it's crazy because it's kind of hypocritical because there's a genre that where certain games can be completely story driven. There are adventure games. I mean, you are still kind of like click and point adventure games. You are kind of still like playing the game per se, but you're, like the Journeyman Project, stuff like that, but you're playing to get to the next story beat. That is the driving force, not more gameplay concepts. It's more what's going to happen after I solve this puzzle type situation. And then there's other games like one of my favorite games is the Heavy Rain. And there's almost no gameplay. It's literally you're picking menus, but it's designed so well as far as all the branching paths and everything that it somehow it becomes fun just seeing how your decisions play out. So I haven't. It's just crazy because if you make it your focus and you use a certain gameplay style to bring out that focus as far as story goes, there's a way to still make it a great game focused on story. And I just think that it has to be a really good balance, obviously. And I think it's kind of hard to do that if it's an action game. And I think since that's what the majority of the Naughty Dog games have been up until this point, it's really hard to find that perfect sweet spot for something like that, because otherwise it's either going to be an afterthought and the gameplay is going to be primary like the other Unreal games or what have you, or you put it forefront and then you watch more FMVs than you do shooting people, and it just I don't know. I don't know if there is an actual answer to it. It's just it's a frustrating situation, and with a lot of the social issues thrown in there as well, it just feels. Like even watching it, I'm like, I'm watching somebody stream this and I'm watching their reaction, and every reaction that I've seen is just like, this is super gross. You can see it on their face while they're watching. They're like, why are you shoving this in my face?
The game is gross. The game is gross. There's a part which they showed already where a lady or a girl is getting her arm beat to hell, like by a hammer.
Yeah.
But then that's
they're just trying to say, hey, humanity is brutal. Okay, great, we get it, but you don't have to like. We've played Manhunt before. Like, what are you? This isn't anything new.
There's some really brutal scenes in the game. So if you're squeamish, maybe it's not the game. It's more brutal than The Last of Us, because like The Last of Us Part 1, you were fighting people, but the people didn't do things to the other people in the game. This game, which they already showed, they show somebody taking a knife, boom, digging it in you, and ripping your intestines out. That's what they show in this game. And like I said, they showed the part where the lady is getting her arm shattered. But then the interesting thing with that is that, because I think the development team, they had like PTSD or whatever, because they had to actually look at that watch it over and over again. Yeah, like, because there's a part with the girl's arm to where like, okay, well, you know, if your arm continues, like what happens if somebody does that to your arm? You know, what happens in an hour? What happens in 2 hours? What happens in 2 days? What happens if you don't get medical attention right away? What would happen to your arm? You know, so you have to look at pictures, you know, you have to look at something that's happened to somebody like that in order to get the idea. So I think that's what makes this game kind of set it different from the first games, that there's just vicious human on human brutality, even worse than what the first game did, you know?
So I'm just going to comment on something Shadowfox said.
Yeah.
Obviously people haven't played Manhunt on the Wii.
And that's what I was saying, man. Yeah. Like Manhunt was literally just
specifically on the Wii.
Yeah,
where you like actually did motion controls with
it. More immersive than ever, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I played Manhunt on the Wii, and yeah, it was pretty. But the graphics the thing is that the graphics weren't. They were okay.
But doing those motions though, that's kind of woo.
Yeah,
that's like one step away.
Yeah, doing those. Yeah, it still looked. I mean, obviously, it still looked realistic enough for a game. But you know, like when you're looking at this game, because obviously, like the PS4 Pro. I mean, if you're playing on a PS4 Pro 4K TV, like there are some very high quality, you know, shots and like skin texture and you know stuff like that. You know, so I mean, it's not for like some people that haven't. It's not for no reason. The brutality and the stuff that happens in this game, it is somewhat for a reason, but whether you care about that or not, or even those people in the first place, is up for your own interpretation by you playing the game.
That's the other issue too.
Yeah, that's whether you care or not. That's the thing, because a lot of that where you see that type of stuff is with Abby too. Is also with Abby's case, and whether you care about Abby and what she's doing and why she's there, that's up for you guys to play. You know, and to determine. There's some cool stuff. Like I think I understand it, I get it, but at the same time, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't got there yet, or for people who, you know, haven't played it.
Not spoiling, but I do want to say this based on you know everything that I've seen. I think a lot of people were saying, hey, if they change this or change that or whatever, that'll make it better. Honestly, I think with everything that they have, if they just changed the order of it, it probably would have been better.
Yeah.
Like just certain things you didn't find out until this point. And then you're like, oh wow, that's a shock. And then it happens instead of being earlier on, maybe a little bit later kind of.
Listen, guys. Listen. There's a reason for everything, okay? The girl just doesn't get her arm beat for nothing, all right? There's a reason why it happens, because one thing happens to another thing, then another thing happens for another thing.
Yeah.
And whether you want to relate to it or not is up for you. It could make you feel emotional. It depends. It depends on who you are. If you're a certain type of person that has maybe went through some things in your life, then you might be more sympathetic to why what happened to this girl, why she got her arm shattered in half, okay, and what she was doing when her arm got shattered and why it happened. And okay, so I'm not gonna spoil the game for you guys, because leaks didn't tell all the reasoning for everything. They just show it. Okay,
it just showed the cutscene.
It just shows it. So I'm not gonna people that are saying, well, what's the reason then? All right, listen. Sorry to cut you off, Shadowfox. I'm telling y'all that you gotta play it to understand what. There is a very good reason this girl got her arm beat to hell and back. Okay. No, it's not a good reason, but it's their reason. It's their reason for them doing that and why she did it. So, or why they did it. So there you go. Y'all gotta play.
Yeah, we'll have a good spoiler cast at some point.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that I've seen, I'm like, that don't add up either. But okay,
Yeah,
I get.
If you just look at leaks, like I said, her getting her arm beat to hell isn't gonna make sense. You're gonna be like, it's just shock value, but it really wasn't. There is a reason for that, like I said, and it ties into an issue that people can deal with in today's day. Why this girl got her arm beat like that, all right? It's a very realistic thing that maybe could happen based in actually happens in some countries to people. Yeah. If they act or do a certain thing, this type of thing could happen to them. Whether it be an acid attack or whether it be something of retaliation or punishment from some governing body or something, okay? So you've got to play the game and then you'll know what happens with it. So whether you relate to it or not or you sympathize with it is your own thing. But as somebody who has known people in certain situations like that, I sympathized with that part and said, man, that's messed up. Like this person was just trying to, be them or whatever the case is. So I get it, I get it from that perspective. And I see why they put it in. It's an interesting angle, but it was definitely put in there for awareness of that issue,
It doesn't feel like it was part of a story.
It feels like they put it in there for diversity within an issue that everybody deals with. Not that the world deals with, that people deal with.
And this is supposed to be like the slick future too. So apparently, I guess the world had progressed a little bit more further than current day. So if things had gone forward the way it was, and then the virus comes out, this is how humanity is. I guess
it's like it's not too far in the future. We'll hopefully all be alive. Knock on wood. We'll hopefully it's like 2030, I think, or yeah, so it's not too far into the future. It's very, Joel lived in it takes place, the outbreak was, what was it? It was 2013 when the outbreak happened.
Yeah.
And then they skipped 2013 when the outbreak happened, 20 years later. So then it was 20
7 years after that.
Yeah, so it's like 2040 something or 20, I can't count. Yeah, it's like it was 2030 in the first game, it was 2033. 2033 in the first game, and then it's 4 years after
I'll be retired
that.
by then. So
so it's in like 2030s or 2040, So it's not too far. It's about 20 years from now. Not too far away. Not too far away.
I'll be about 40 then. So
yeah. We'll hopefully all be alive and well at that point. So it's not really, and it's not politics. It's not for people trying to guess. It's not politics. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to ruin. I mean, for some people, like I said, I don't want to ruin it or anything, but it has to do with certain genders and stuff. So
my whole thing with Naughty Dog is just let them be a movie studio at this point.
They are.
It's so clear.
They're trying to do. They're trying to do
no, like let them officially make movies for Sony, because they can turn out better movies than any other studio they have. Really believe it.
Because after this, after The Last of Us Part 2, some people might disagree with that.
They don't like. Maybe after The Last of Us.
Last of Us Part 1 was great. There's going to be a Netflix, or there's going to be like an HBO series on The Last of Us. So they're doing that.
I'm excited for the series.
Junkman's the writer on that. So he's helping write that. So, but apparently it's not going to be Ellie. It's not going to be Joel. It's not going to be Abby. It's going to be some people completely different in different part of the United States. So yeah. But anyway, that's The Last of Us, guys.
Yep. 10 out of 10.
Okay, so let's talk about the score real quick. Let's talk about the score, and then we'll get into Cyberpunk. We'll finish off with Cyberpunk. Let's talk about this game. Is not a 10 out of 10. Now I said it's not everybody's opinion. You can like or feel what you want or whatever the case is, but this is not it's ridiculous to give this game. I think it's somewhat ridiculous to give this game a 10 out of 10.
Is it more timeless than Tetris?
No, not at all.
No, Tetris is intercontinental / generational / Tetris will be around before the world gets blown up by the sun, supernova. People will be playing Tetris, in bazillion years or whatever whenever the world or whenever the sun decides to go pop,
running for game of the generation, maybe. Kind of, maybe.
Not with that ending. If they had that ending, if they made this game was this close to perfection, this close to not perfection, but this close to actually earning 10 out of 10s. It was close. It was close. If they fixed the story, which could have been fixable, my suggestion for the story would be to have you play as Joel and Ellie again, and have a if you're gonna do a revenge plot and stuff like that, or whatever you're gonna do, have it to where it's Joel and Ellie fighting again, trying to do for somebody else, instead of the way that they did it. So that would be my thing that I would do. But like I said, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But but yeah. But it's not a 10 out of 10. It's max. I mean, I can maybe vibe with the 9, but I'm giving a side eye,
Yeah.
I'm giving a side eye at a 9, but if you want to give it a 9 eye, if you want to say that you loved it, okay, whatever. But
how do you feel about them doing a Left Behind DLC or something like that? How do you feel about
if you watch Left Behind, it takes place like in between, like when Joel got bodied, So I mean, if they could do that, but the end, it doesn't change. The end result is still the same, The end result is still the same.
There's no way to retcon that.
Yeah, there's no way to retcon what happens. It is not a satisfying ending for me personally. It's not.
Well, maybe in between after Ellie got things happen to her. Maybe in between that time, because you don't really know what happens. After.
Yeah, that's true. You could but it will just piss people off because they'd be like, "Well, I already know what happened."
Okay.
It would just
They'll be okay.
It would just it would be dope, but like to just go back, but we still know what happens. We still know, unless they wanted to retcon that ending, which could they retcon the ending? I would like for them to retcon the ending. I dislike the ending of the game. I really
think they should, to be honest with you.
They're not going to.
They have way too much pride. Of everything the first game was leading up to.
They have way too much pride to retcon the ending. There's no way. There's no way they can do it, man. There's no way. But it just. But I think at this point, what they do for the next Last of Us is that they just move on. Ellie, Joel, Abby, just screw them. Move on, new area, maybe the South, new area, not Texas South, like Florida, Louisiana.
The South would be interesting in that universe.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe because they went from like Boston to like Wyoming to like Seattle to California. They've been to many different places. But I think if they do the South, that could be interesting. Like maybe even like, North Carolina, maybe some areas are like that.
North Carolina to Savannah.
Yeah, and then they just kind of like, like Florida, stuff like that. They just go there, or even like go back to Texas and see what happens with people in Texas, I think that would be a good thing for them. Just pick up new characters, fresh new start, and just leave all that behind, I think that'd be the only thing that they can do going forward. Because if they do anything else,
Joel confirmed.
What'd you say?
Ellie is the new Joel confirmed.
Oh man, well we'll see.
Or not.
We'll see. I think they're.
Why not? Right?
I think they're done. I think they're done. There's not going to be any more Ellie. There's not going to be any more.
No Last of Us 3.
No, there's going to be Last of Us 3, but it's not going to be what we know. It's going to be like a complete, like Mass Effect Andromeda. You guys are like what happened to Andromeda?
They're just like let's just start over.
Shepard, Ashley. All of them, Caden, gone. Rex, all these guys, everybody gone. Liara everybody just gone. Liara's still alive, but she's in the old universe. They just left everything behind. And not saying that Mass Effect Andromeda is a good game, because it's not. But I think they can definitely do that, where they just start anew, new characters, new everything, new world, new place. So.
Speaking of Andromeda, I don't want to sidestep it, but that was the perfect chance for them to start over, because that trilogy, whatever you think of how they had to collect that ending for 3, it set up everything to where they could just restart all over again with different people doing literally the same thing. And I don't know why they couldn't get that together, but you had all the pieces already there for you.
They messed up with first of all, the engine that the game was on. I think Jason Schreier did a post about what happened to Mass Effect Andromeda, and it got bodied by EA, and it got bodied by incompetence at the top level. You know, not letting them use what they should have used Unreal Engine. That's what they should have used. They should have just used Unreal Engine 3 or Unreal Engine 4. They should have just used that. You know, they didn't have like the Frostbite engine didn't have the tools to even make RPG menus at the time. Because all they used it for was sports games and like Madden and FIFA and shooters and Battlefield. They didn't have the resources. And remember, this was being developed in, we're talking 2013, 2014, you know, 2015. That's when the main bulk of this game, and it got scrapped and pretty much restarted. So it got Metroid Prime, then they didn't say anything, you know? It got scrapped and restarted, and it just turned out. So the bulk of the game was done in the year or two, even though it started development like in 2013, 2014. So.
And that affects your planning phase if you have to design an engine from scratch, basically, or shoehorn your engine on top of an existing engine, which is what they ended up doing. That's crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, Last of Us 2, I think it's gonna be probably. Sounds like it's gonna be one of my games for Game of the Year for me. Then, if that's the case, because that's what I like the gameplays.
It can be up there for you. It could be up there for you. But like I said, whether you're an Abby fan, that might stop it. You a fan of Abby?
But she has some good kills.
No. Gameplay wise, yo, Abby.
She has the kills.
Yo, Abby will punch the crap out of you.
Literally.
Abby will knock the hell out of you. No, gameplay wise, I mean, it's just whether you agree with the length of Abby and even playing as Abby in the first place. That is, I mean, because that skill tree could have easily been somebody else.
Easily.
That could have been Tommy. That could have been
that's
Jesse.
Exactly what I was about to say. But
that could have been lots of people. Tommy. Now that could have been cool, you know, which is not a spoiler because we all know Tommy's in the game. Okay, so we all know Tommy's in the game. So yeah.
I have not played any of the Last of Us games, so I'm like clueless on like the storyline and everything. I just know the characters and everything.
I highly suggest playing Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, just play Last of Us Remastered and then
it's not long. You can. I even suggest putting it on easy and just playing. Yeah. And just enjoying the story.
And it runs pretty well in emulator now too.
He's not gonna play on emulator. Buy it for $5 on the PS4. You know, I mean,
it's $5.
Yeah, you can buy it for digital, no, $10. Sorry, $10 digital.
It was on sale for $5.
Yeah, it was on sale for $5. There was digital codes for $5. But yeah, I mean, you can beat it real quick. You can beat it in couple sessions, and you can just put it on easy. You don't.
Wasn't it free on PSN 1 year?
It is. Yeah, it is free. It was free on PSN at one point. I actually got it with my PS4. No, but it's like story wise, it's very good and it's very fulfilling. After you beat the game, you're like, oh, I feel good about this. You know, like the gameplay is hit or miss. I mean, gonna be a lot of Ellie because Ellie can't swim in the first game. So there's a lot of you putting her on these wooden pallets and her going like this, like she's just like that. There's a lot of that of wooden pallets and Ellie on top of wooden pallets. So yeah. So yeah, man. But no, Last of Us is cool. I think overall it's a good franchise. I like it. I don't dislike it. I think it's a very good franchise. I think it's solid. Just maybe they messed up, you know, with this one here.
Okay.
Yeah, Ellie can jump and she can swim now. So that's my girl's got the step up.
Breakthroughs. She's doing better than Cloud and Kratos.
Yeah, she's doing better than Cloud and Kratos, dude. She can jump, she can swim.
That's good stuff.
You know, she's a little Rambo girl, man.
Is she becoming Samus Aran?
No, dude, dude, she might be a skill to Samus. No, she's not. Samus would destroy her if it was an actual fight. but no, she's cool. I like Ellie. I like her. All right. I think she's cool. I think her story and what she goes through, but the game, the story itself.
I don't think none of that needed to happen. But anyway, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. All right. So let's get into this last topic here. We got Cyberpunk 2077. Did you guys see the gameplay?
I watched it like 7 times.
I'm gonna watch it now.
Oh man,
I'm gonna watch it now too.
It is the only thing. There's only one problem I have is that it's first person. Outside of that, everything else is amazing, and I understand why it's first person. I understand why, and I get it.
I'm not a fanboy for anyone, but I'm a fanboy for CD Red.
They're good. They're good. What impresses me the most is that how they explained Big Z, like how they explained the paths that you can take, like the street kid, the what was it, the corporate exec or whatever, and then you have like the nomad, right? And how it's different with your best friend. I forgot what his name was, but the big dude. It's different for each path that you take. I love that about it. And like the gameplay, just the shooting just feels like it's gonna be so good to get in there. Like I like how it has like all the displays, like headshot, the numbers popping up. It feels like a much more high quality Borderlands in some respects. It feels like they took, of course, classic CD Projekt Red, but they took Mass Effect, Borderlands, their own style, and just and Blade Runner, and just put it all together and said, hey, yo, here's this game that took us almost 10 years to make, So yeah, man. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
And the game, it's so polished in what it is that when we see it, it's like, how can they delay it for polishes? But they want to make that even more polished. What we saw today, they want to make even better.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
how can you make that better?
Well, there's obviously bugs. That's the thing.
Well, there's bugs and stuff. But it's like they want to improve every aspect of his game. And I don't understand how they're going to do it, because it's already, even if you look at the gameplay from last year when they did the whole 25-minute demo, that still holds up really well. Even the year before that, it still holds up. It's always been a good state.
And the driving looks like it's going to be pretty good too. Like I think the driving looks very solid as well.
It does.
The driving looks really good. The graphics look amazing. It looks like they were probably running that on like the highest end graphics card. Like that was PC footage.
I think they're running off a 2080.
Yeah. So they're running it off. I think there's like the Cyberpunk graphics card, right? Isn't that what?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a Cyberpunk 2080 Ti.
Yeah, so they're running it off. It looks amazing. So chances are, if you're playing it on your Xbox VCR, don't expect those frame rates. Don't expect that resolution either.
Right. You should be able to get a solid 1440p PC on a console.
Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Xbox One X. Yeah. Or like a PS4 Pro.
I'm not sure it'll be 1440, maybe 1080, but it's still good.
Could we talk about why 1440 or 2K isn't like just normalized more to 60, like 1440, 60?
Because people have 1080p TVs.
Well, because isn't it because of performance? That would be like 1440, 60. That'd be tough. That'd be tough on consoles, right?
It depends on the game, but
then we should. I hope this next generation masters 1080 60.
That's my only thing I'm asking for next gen. Get down 1080 60. But that's all you want.
But every game won't be, because they're gonna try to go for graphics. So if you're gonna go for, they're trying to go for native 4K.
But you see, for a true developer, you should always start with your lowest denominator first. Like you should always work with your lowest denominator first. So if you're gonna make a game crossplay or for multiple consoles, let's just say this game, for instance, they should make it for I don't know. They should make this for, if it's for PS4, you should make the base thing run for PS4 the best. Like the performance should be perfect on PS4, and everything should excel after that.
Yeah, like make it like 900p 60.
Yeah, I think that would even be tough for the type of graphics that they're going for Cyberpunk, right? I mean, I don't know what it's going to run at. I think it's probably going to run at 1080p, but I don't think it's not even going to be close to 60 frames per second on the consoles.
It's going to depend on if it's CPU bound versus GPU bound.
It's CPU bound because it's open world game.
It's looking heavily CPU bound.
Yeah, it's definitely a CPU bound game. I don't know much about. Obviously, I'm not a big tech guy, but I can tell you that it's absolutely a CPU bound game.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
and that's open world games tend to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like they're working with their highest denominator first. They're working with the higher end graphics first. Where people who have just PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones, they're getting the short end of the stick. where they should have good performance, nonetheless, in my opinion.
We need to see what the performance is going to be at. I mean, I don't think they've shown it.
I don't see CD Red skimping out on the lower end. I mean,
they brought down
the Witcher Free to the Switch, and it runs. Yeah, it's not 4K 144, but I can play Witcher Free wherever the hell I want.
I was gonna say their biggest concession was Witcher 2 on 7th generation. Like that was probably that's probably the lowest they would ever go.
And that's still really good.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and they did
CD Red isn't gonna skimp out.
The thing about it is that like Witcher on the original Xbox was a little rough when it first launched. Witcher 3 on the VCR Xbox, I bought it day one, and it was rough, guys. It was the frame rate was rough. But
they fixed it.
They did fix it. But it still runs significantly better on an X. You know?
Well, yeah, naturally it does.
Yeah, it's still So, but I mean, I get it. You're right. You're bang on with what you say about CD Projekt Red. They're not gonna let something be trash on there.
Oh no! Like even if it doesn't run great initially, they're gonna work day and night to get it to a good playable state. For that base, and they know that there's so many people that have the VCRs or 1S or a PS4 Slim or base PS4 that they can't afford to give those people a short end of the stick.
Yeah, this game's got to sell a lot of copies.
Yeah,
it's been too long.
And I really think they're gonna try for 60 FPS on it. They're gonna attempt it. Even if they go down to 720, they're gonna try it. I
just hope. I'm just hoping that for Series X and PlayStation 5 they get rid of the LODs, because if the SSD is so fast, or I mean, and just in this case, you got 16 gigs of RAM, double the RAM. Use the other half for the RAM as cache, and see how you can get rid of the LODs in this game.
16 gigabytes of RAM on what?
The new consoles.
Oh, okay, you're talking about PS5 and those ones we're not hearing about that till next year. So
it would be not. It would be nice if they just did that as an upgrade. That'll be a reason you don't even have to do the quote unquote. If you buy the game one time, we help you. You can actually sell this one as an actual upgrade, and people will probably buy it if they could see that. Like,
absolutely.
You cut down on your loads, or maybe the entire game could be in RAM, a la Xenoblade Chronicles X, and then the only thing you have to worry about is fast travel. That kind of stuff would be wonderful.
I'm still waiting for that game to come to the Switch.
Yeah, that would. Oh, well, was Xenoblade? We'll see.
That's gonna be a lot of work. That's
I really think of Cyberpunk. The biggest thing to gameplay was just how polished it was, and how far they've gone with the story, and even just little encounters. I've been a huge rep in like shilling for this game and anything CD Red does for years, and it shows in everything they cannot do wrong.
There's not much that they've ever done wrong. They've never really, I mean, outside of just delaying the game over and over and over and over again. You know,
I was about to say I wasn't really a big fan of Witcher combat per se.
But is Witcher bad though?
Witcher's not bad, and this is
not being a fan of it, not being bad or different.
No, I don't like the. I've bought every single Witcher game and played every single one, and I don't like the combat in any of the Witcher games. I don't think it's very good.
But you can't say it's a bad game.
But I don't think it's a bad game. I think the combat can be very enjoyable for those who want. Like I can separate myself from the game, but Cyberpunk looks like the gameplay's better. In my opinion, it looks like it's more engaging. And it looks like it's going to be more polished and more fun.
It looks like there's a ton of stuff to do.
For everyone. Witcher has a lot of stuff, but I think the problem with The Witcher is that the combat in the game, in my opinion, from when you stack it up to other action RPGs, I don't think it's better than a lot of other action RPGs when it comes to certain combat aspects. Yeah. I think that they do a lot of things.
It's just that world is more fleshed out.
Yeah, their world is fleshed out and the combat's good, but I think there is a number of action RPGs that are better. I don't know if that's the same case with Cyberpunk after watching the game, but I don't know how many other first-person, like Fallout, right? Fallout or Mass Effect. The gameplay looks just as good as those games that did that at the highest level, right? That shooter RPG level. Borderlands. Does Borderlands look significantly better gameplay-wise than Cyberpunk from what we've seen? Hell no. Like, Cyberpunk looks just as good, if not better, than whatever Borderlands does, you know? So I think that's the difference between, Witcher and Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk actually looks to be at the top of its class, if not higher. Whereas I don't think Witcher, to me, from what I've played and from what I've seen, I don't think it's better than other action RPGs out there, you know, but I can still understand that the combat is good for some people, you know.
Can we just talk about the character customization in Cyberpunk and how everyone's going to spend 24 hours making the character?
I know, I will.
The amount of options there makes the wrestling games look like crap.
Yeah, there's even some certain options with areas of your body that we're not going to mention, but there's definitely options there too. So
and there's like multiple events.
Oh,
it's not just like one or two. It's like multiple of each one.
You can really customize things in that game, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, it's super cool, and I love it. And even how you customize your character is gonna affect the storyline.
It's great, man. I really like what they're doing with the game. Mirror Shield did donate $2 Canadian maple syrup dollars. Thank you for the maple syrups. And he says, which did you enjoy more, Final Fantasy VII Remake or Last of Us Part 2? That's an interesting question. I would probably say overall Final Fantasy VII Remake I enjoyed more because the story is definitely better. I felt more satisfied at the end of.
Especially at that with that ending of FF7.
Yeah, it was very. For some, maybe some people didn't like it, but a lot of people liked it. A lot of people did like that ending.
It wasn't as controversial.
No, it wasn't as. The game was just as controversial.
And I have my own comments on it. Yeah, I'll get into another day.
Yeah, but the ending was.
As far as like the ending, like everyone pretty much said they liked it that played it.
Yeah, the ending was good. The ending was good in that game. So yeah, I'd probably say Final Fantasy because of the ending and the story. I'll say that Final Fantasy VII Remake was the better. I enjoyed it more because gameplay wise, FF7 they're really different types of games, so it's hard to compare. But they both excel in their field in terms of the weird thing that I don't even know what to categorize Last of Us as gameplay wise. Like I said, it's Resident Evil, it's Snake Eater, and it's Uncharted all put together. That's what this game is. So it's an action.
I can see that
stealth thingy. I don't know. it's like a survival.
It's Resident Evil 4 mixed with Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 / Resident Evil 4. 4 was like Snake Eater. Snake Eater would be like Splinter Cell. You have like high tech equipment, you know, so you don't have that type of equipment. So that's why I say Snake Eater, because Snake Eater you don't have as high because you're back in the 60s, you know, so your equipment is good, but it's not as high tech as the other Metal Gear games, like, you know, Metal Gear Solid 4.
Snake Eater's my game, man.
Yeah, so it's
Snake Eater's legit.
Snake Eater, you still have some nice equipment, right? But it's still high tech for the time period, but not quite as high tech as the other games. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, but it's good. But Final Fantasy VII Remake had dope gameplay. The only problem with Final Fantasy VII Remake is just the structure, which we've talked about, like, you know, we've talked about a million times. The structure, but the gameplay in that game is really good. It's definitely fulfilling.
I know I've been watching combo videos. I like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that game is that good. Playing as Cloud is great. Playing as Tifa is great. It feels great to play with.
Playing as Tifa, man.
It is just
combo videos.
It's fantastic. Like playing as Barret is great. The only person that I didn't like is Aerith. That's the only person that I thought it wasn't quite as fun.
But she's support though. So
yeah, she is. But she has some nasty spells. She has some
nasty spells. What I will say that I did like about Aerith is like she had the best magic damage output out of everybody.
Yeah, that's what she has some, like when you put that, what's the thing that she can do to where you can cast 2 spells in a row or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that and then just like, woo, just start racking up big damage, like with her spells.
Do you call that default?
but Tifa though, her physical damage output.
Oh, it's very good. Modify that with some materia too, with some good stuff on the materia. Start ice punching people, getting some crits. Good stuff, man. I'm gonna play the game again, but there's no reason for me to go back and get the platinum. Why? Because we're gonna get a 4K 60 frames per second version of that game on the Xbox Series X, and it's gonna be godlike on there.
You're absolutely right.
We're gonna get a 4K 60 frames per second version, and it's going to be godlike. So there's no point in replaying it again or trying to get a platinum. Why? You can play it again. It's gonna be so.
I'm waiting for the PC version.
Yeah, PC version. You can play.
I might check it out on PC. I'll see if I can get a code on G2A or something.
It's it's gonna be godlike on PC or Xbox.
I'm definitely
Series X.
I'm definitely gonna double dip on that on PC.
Oh, I'm double dip. I'm 100%. Like, there's no reason to play it again. Like, people say, "Oh, you're gonna play it again?" But hell no. Why?
Like those textures are like, nah,
I'm good. Like, why? They're gonna fix it. They're gonna fix it more, and it's gonna be sick on the next gen systems than on PC. So I mean, like, why am I gonna play it again? Because I'm gonna want to double dip. I'm gonna triple dip, and that's gonna make me triple play it. There's no point in playing it 3.
Yep.
Just wait a bit. You can wait till next year. As soon as that exclusivity deal runs out, bro, it's gonna be.
Man, I'm waiting for it, actually.
The minute that deal runs out, bro, which is March, the minute that deal runs out, bro, it's on, man. You know. I'm
waiting for it. It's still my game of the year. Still my RPG of the year too.
Right now, I would definitely say it's up there for game of the year with me. You know, it's right up there. You know, it's definitely one that's up there for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 4 though. That might take the whole thing for this year if it's good.
Oh, is it the new knack? Oh,
Crash Bandicoot looks good. Crash Bandicoot 4 looks good.
It does.
It looks really good. It looks
that might be better than everything that comes out.
It looks safe. There are some. I mean, it doesn't look like they're doing too much with it, but I don't think that's that's not the point. The point is to be a Crash experience with a couple new added things and some time manipulation thing, use different characters.
After they announced Crash 4, I went back and replayed Crash 3, 1 and 2 on my original PS1. And man, those games are so amazing. They've aged so well, even for a PS1, which hasn't aged that well.
Crash back in the day was just mind-boggling. Remember when you first played Crash back in the day? I was like, what the hell is this?
How do you even control this?
This is great.
Believe it or not, the first Crash I played was actually Crash 2.
Crash 2 is probably the best one.
That's the best one.
That was like my first experience playing Crash.
Yeah.
That was Wrath of Cortex, right?
Yeah. Crash 2 Wrath of Cortex
Warped was 3.
It's amazing. Crash 1 was great, but variety not so much. But Crash 2, man, like they put a little bit more story into that.
I think that was the first game I ever wanted on 100%.
Yeah. I didn't have a PlayStation then, so I had to go to my friend's house, and I was always just hyped to go spend the night there because
I'm wearing a Crash Bandicoot shirt right now. Like I love Crash.
Crash is great. I actually
Crash needs to be in Smash.
Crash needs to be in Smash. He'd be a great character in Smash too.
Dude,
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah,
I've been saying this for years. Mario, Sonic, and Crash. We need that to happen. Like the Crash trailer needs to be Mario and Sonic going against each other.
Sonic, Crash,
and
Mega Man.
I mean, like the old PS1 ads where he would be outside Nintendos.
Exactly.
That would be.
Or have him at the Olympics or something, and then Crash just joins in. That would be dope.
Yeah, I was always of the impression that after playing Crash and then playing something like Super Mario 64, you're like, if Nintendo came from the future and showed them Super Mario 3D Land, I think Crash would have definitely gave Nintendo a run for their money. It just the floatiness and judging where you land was more of the issue in Crash 2. So I was trying to think, like, if that one thing was nailed down, that was a good game. That was a perfect game almost. So I didn't.
And then
I think that's the one thing. I think it's criminally underrated how well Nintendo has their physics system down. Just something as simple as jumping and landing, and like for the life of the industry, nobody else can get it right but them. I don't know what it is, but do they have it patented secretly or something? I don't know what's going on. It's a CPU. It's a CPU function, so I don't know what they're doing different and why other people can't seem to replicate it. But it's just this piece and
experience.
Yeah, and Sonic comes so close. A lot of the time in the 3D game, he comes so close, and then it's just not.
I want to play Sonic Adventure again, man. I love the Sonic Adventure games.
Sonic Adventure 2, best Sonic game.
Sonic Adventure 2 was me. That was me all day.
That's the best Sonic game ever. I
could accept that.
Yeah, Sonic. I don't know. That was that was probably my favorite. That's my favorite 3D Sonic game for now, anyway.
Ori
but
does have a good jump. Someone said that in chat. It does, but like it's still not the same. But again, it's a completely different jump because of it's like
it's a different kind.
Yeah, but it's still like really solid. Microsoft has a pretty good jump down.
I think 2D they've got it right, but I think the problem is when you get to 3D. That's where
3D is tough work.
Yeah, that's where Nintendo kind of excels more than like the rest. Like, there's still no other 3D platform that I've played that feels as good as Super Mario Odyssey, you know, or even like Super Mario 64 at times, or even
the best one, Super Mario Sunshine.
Or Super Mario. That might be the worst one for the jumping in Mario.
no, it's the best one.
No, Galaxy is better. Galaxy's definitely better.
Sunshine is better than all of them combined.
What are you?
All right, now you wildin'.
The movie, okay.
Look, I'm a fan of Sunshine, so we can't get into the argument.
I know Sunshine's fine, but it's not better than Galaxy when it comes to the jump, like the controls and the jumping. No, is it? No.
Yeah, it is.
How?
What the platforming?
Just like the controls. How controls?
I thought the platforming was great in that game because they take all the assists away from you in the secret stages, and all you have is pure platforming at that point. And that's really damn good. So I based on that alone, that's why I would say Sunshine was pretty good for that alone. I think if they took that, that's kind of where the Galaxy bonus stages were going. So I
Galaxy is a close second though.
Close second. All right, I'll take it. All right, so let's go we're gonna get into Q&A. All right, guys. So we'll answer questions for just a bit of time, just because we're already over the 2-hour mark. So we'll answer questions for a bit. So if you have some questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Shamsa, I know you did that big 50. So if you have a question, if you're still watching, definitely let us know, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you guys. We're talking about any topics. Good though.
That much I'll tell you.
What'd you say?
I said Cyberpunk does look pretty good. That much I'll tell you.
Cyberpunk looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah, it looks. We're all excited to play it. We all want to play. So
I've bought that game 5 times now. I got it for a buddy on GOG. I bought it for myself on GOG. Pre-ordered it on Steam. Pre-order for a friend on PS4, and then pre-order for a friend on Xbox.
Oh yeah, we actually didn't touch on that today, but the Marvel. What did you guys think about the Marvel game?
It Avengers? Looks bland, but it doesn't look bad. It's like it looks it exists.
It looks like it's an improved Ultimate Alliance. To say it seems like it's going to be improved functions in Ultimate Alliance. Like graphically, it looks all right. It looks pretty good, and also story wise, I feel like it's pretty fresh story wise because you're using a villain that I feel like doesn't get enough credit. So in terms of being canonical with the comics, I feel like it's a pretty good phase they're taking on. I'm interested in seeing the story. Ironically, the story on how they're going to go with this, but more so how the gameplay is going to connect. Like, it still looks a little clunky from the gameplay that I was watching, but I want to see like kind of like what they're going to do with this. I want to see if this is going to be something that is going to be worth investing the time into. Because at the end of the day, the video games are real time investments these days. How much they want you to play them. So
yeah,
you got to get something that's going to be worth your time.
There's not that many heroes. Yeah, I think somebody in the chat said there's only 6 at launch. Is that true?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, that's not good. But you know what? 6 is better. I guess 6 is better than like 3.
And for an Ultimate Alliance is a really good game, especially
that's a really good game.
Yeah,
they keep adding new. People aren't covering it, but they keep adding new characters to it.
Yeah,
with new abilities.
Has so many characters, though. You know, like there's just so many.
And that's why I wanted to touch on. You see. I know it's only 6 characters, but you got to find a balance between what's too much or too little, because when you have too many, then it can become overwhelming on who you want to use and how you want to play with the game and everything.
Just play as Deadpool.
Deadpool's person.
There's different like challenges and abilities and like stuff that you can do like with different characters. So
but Ryan Reynolds though.
Yeah, I mean that's great, you know. But I mean I like playing as Miles Morales in the game. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, Miles Morales was
Miles was fun.
Miles is fun playing. Obviously, having like you know Wolverine and just having.
But Miles is no Ryan Reynolds.
He's no Ryan Reynolds, but he's Miles. You know, so I mean, like the thing about it. Also, we need to point out about this Avengers game is that it is a live service, so there's There's multiplayer. There's like Warzone multiplayer where you can go with your friends, 4-player co-op. And there are new heroes being added in for free, from what I understand. Am I correct about that? There are new heroes that are going to
every
be
time I
added
boot up that game, there's something new.
So there are going to be new things to do. There is a single player experience, so you can play through single player. And like, yeah, to have that type of, you can't have 30 something plus characters with those graphics. There's no way. Like, the game would take 10 years, you know? Like, it would take too long for them to build everything that they have to build, plus have all those characters. Like, there's no way. So, like, I get it.
I just want to see with Avengers how it competes with everything else, because to me it almost looks like a GTA Online mod in certain ways.
Yeah, it does.
So
I get that feel.
Like, it looks like that to me. So like, almost makes me like I can just mod GTA and just get the same experience. So I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks like it exists. It doesn't look good either.
To answer some people's questions, like Nightshade, like the PS5, you get a free PS5 and Xbox. This is what I was talking about, like, with the systems, right? Like, because of the I mean, Doc Trey made a video on this, but because of the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Series X, there is not a massive jump from those systems to the next. CPU wise, maybe, yes. That SSD loading times, yes. But graphically speaking, what you're going to see is not dramatically different.
It's still not a dedicated GPU. Yeah, it's an SoC.
So I'm going to say reserve your expectations on CPU too, but that's a whole other story.
So essentially, what you're going to get is that the PS5 version of the game, even if they take their time and optimize, which they're going to do, you get the PS5 version if you buy the PS4 version. It's not going to be drastically different. So there's no need for them to wait or anything like that, because the games take years and years and years to make. So if they started planning this game in, I think it was 2015, I mean, you can't plan next gen out. Nobody even knows what chips they're going to use or what, you know, if you're making this game in 2014, 2015, you have no idea what's happening. And you can't
exactly what chip the Xbox is using.
You know, so
kind of a consensus per se. And so the other, I don't know why this is a thing, but obviously Sony and Microsoft are talking via third party. So they throw out, hey, these are the specs that we kind of want to dish out. Wink, wink. What do you guys think? Well, this is the kind of game we're building. Wink, wink. And then they will take that same conversation and then take it to Microsoft and do the exact same thing. So it's like they're in concert anyway. So there shouldn't be too many surprises. So they should have more projects planned out, I think. Like, this is their third time in a row doing this. This is their third console generation doing the same shit.
And it's very risky to only do, like, oh, we're going to do this next gen only. Dude, nobody has next gen systems. You know? Like, nobody's bought any next gen systems yet. I mean, you need to sell to an install base, right? So that's also another problem. It's like, okay, you can't just say, okay, save it for next gen. How many systems? I mean, if it's gonna come out this year, then like, what are you gonna do? Just make a PS5 version, then people can upgrade to the PS5 version when it comes out. So I mean, I get what you're saying, Nightshade, but it's like, it's too risky. They got to make money, man. And like, if you put it only on PS5 and Xbox Series X, you limit your base. You automatically
limit your potential.
You eliminate your potential. Like, hands down, there is no game on PS5 and Xbox Series X that is going to be that can beat out it being on PS4 and Xbox One. It just can't.
Like, we don't even know if they're going to make more than 2 million of those a piece this year because of, you know, COVID and everything else going on.
Yeah. So it's not a good business move to say, oh, let's just wait and put it on there, because like every single day you spend waiting is $1 lost. Is dollars lost. The investors, everybody wants their money. Everybody wants their money, man. And that's the thing about the gaming industry. Everybody wants their money, man. Everybody wants it, and they don't want to wait either. They don't want to, because you know why? Because guess what game development is? You've been waiting. You've been waiting and waiting and wait. You've been waiting like 4 or 5. Everybody's been waiting. Nobody wants to wait anymore for their money, man. They want their money right now. And if it's launch year, they're not gonna say no. Screw PS5. That's what PS5. Sony Square Enix is saying no. No, we don't care about no. We want the PS4 has 100 million. Xbox has this. PC, Steam. We need it now. We need it now. You know, they're not waiting for next gen.
It's their money. They want it now.
Yeah, it's their money. They want it now. You know, they're not waiting for nothing. You know.
And bring up Steam. I mean, that and PC platform. You don't have to worry about a next gen. It's just always there.
Yeah. Next gen is always there with PC. And that's what I was saying. Like the impact of graphics this generation is not going to be as big because we're all seeing PC, right? We all see PC. We know how PC is. We can all afford. But Abaddon's got a crazy good PC, you know. Mm-hmm. So we all know what PCs. And I think Shadowfox, you got a good PC too, right?
Yeah. I got.
I'm working on another build right now. Right now, it's about $1,500 budget.
Yeah. So everybody's seen what next gen PC high. Everybody's seen it. And the funny thing
generations for PC are different because they typically require you to get a new motherboard. That when you have to change your entire board because it requires a new architecture. That's kind of where generations change for them. But they're usually long in the tooth. You can usually get a good 8 to 9 years out of a decent motherboard.
Oh yeah, you can get even more than that if you don't overclock them like I do.
Yeah. You can get a good amount of time out of them. So
I overclock like terrible. I overclock everything.
You're a terrible man.
I know. I am.
I mean, but they have motherboards that are built for that now. So you can.
I know, but I buy them specifically, and I still abuse them.
Yeah, let's get some more questions here. Nightshade said, "Okay, yeah, all good, Nightshade. Glad you understand." Let me get some more questions here. Are you gonna buy Fairy Tail RPG? Yeah, I'll check out Fairy Tail. It's like a action RPG based off the anime.
The anime is something else.
Yeah, the anime is interesting. I haven't watched too many episodes, but it seems. I mean, it's all right. I want a Hunter x Hunter game.
I gotta watch Tower of God.
They need to make a Hunter x Hunter game. I think that it's been long overdue for a good Hunter x Hunter game.
I'm scared of a Hunter x Hunter game because of My Hero, actually.
Well, no, they need to make like an action RPG Hunter x Hunter game. Like Fairy Tail is an action RPG. Like Fairy Tail is probably going to be one of the better anime games to come out. That's not a 2D fighting game. And like
Trails of Cold Steel though, that's a good game.
That's not like an anime game. That was a video game franchise first, wasn't it?
You know what they need to do? They need to make a real Naruto RPG.
They do, dude.
That's what they need
a high budget. A good, but not Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm budget, not Shinobi Strikers,
and not Fetch Quest Dragon Ball Kakarot.
Yeah.
You know what's a really good? You know what's a good one that's really good on value is Fatal Bullet. It's like $10 on Steam right now.
Yeah, Fatal Bullet's good.
For $10 especially, you'll get a lot of value.
Yeah. Fatal Bullet's really good value. But I mean, Fatal Bullet, it's a great, and I get like Fatal Bullet sort of online. That's always been something that people, but like we need one for one of those staple RPG or those staple animes. Like Dragon Ball Kakarot. It's a step in the right direction. But like Abaddon said, it's at least y'all got that though. What do we got as Naruto fans? I'll take, dude. Naruto got
Jump
nothing.
Force?
Yeah,
we got nothing.
Jump Force.
Like I would like. Could you imagine a Naruto game that started from the original Naruto series and ended at Shippuden?
Oh,
it's like that. It's like you could really grow and move around town and like really level up. Like that'll be dope.
Dude, imagine being able to use like different characters and like their ability. Like Naruto has one of the most, I'm gonna say unique, but it has a very interesting way of like how people can do things in that game. Like shadow clones, how you can do like jutsus, just like the different types of variety of like how the elements work. It's really cool. So having an action RPG based around that, like I think it'd be dope because like you have your
agree.
Like
Shikamaru's one of my favorite characters, so I definitely agree.
Shikamaru's great, man. Imagine the arc against freaking the Akatsuki. Imagine the arc. With Shikamaru. Oh my god,
that's gonna be heart wrenching, dog.
That would be so clean, dude. That would be so clean. Because like they've done it before, like in Naruto, like Ultimate Ninja Storm, but it's visually impressive, but gameplay wise, it's trash. Y'all out here calling The Last of Us trash gameplay? Play Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm. It's the most unbalanced. Like you see these amazing cinematics, amazing cutscenes, and then you play the game and you're like, "What the hell is that?" The Shippuden series, it's like a yoink. It's like, man, this is gonna be great, right? Like when you're watching it, it's like this is better than the anime, and then you start playing, you're like, oh, you're just mashing one button and you're flipping, dashing into people and doing just the weirdest things. But I mean, they try, I guess. The same people who made Kakarot made Ultimate Ninja Storm, like.
I feel as though it's like they got the fighting down pack, and I like the open arena, but it's like I felt like they tried too hard to make it into an open world RPG, and I feel as though the model they have for DBZ Kakarot, if you're gonna do something like that, you need to do something like that where people can create their own character and play online with other people, and you fill out the maps a little bit more, because there was too much gaps between enemies and random enemies, and kind of like randomize the enemies a little bit more. I feel that if they would have took the route they was trying to do with Xenoverse and did something similar with DBZ Kakarot and made that into its own world itself, that would have been dope. In my opinion.
Yeah. We have another question here from Evan, who's panicking. Says, if Nintendo doesn't reveal more games by July, should we be worried for them? No, you shouldn't.
Nope.
No.
They are just waiting.
They are just waiting to announce whatever they feel like.
You know what's gonna be funny? Imagine sometime in July they announce that new Pokemon game that people have been waiting for, or imagine they just announce a whole bunch of games like towards like July and August, and they're coming out at the end of this year. Like Nintendo has been known for doing that. They'll announce stuff at the end of the year and it's still coming out that same.
Like there's gonna be a fall direct or mini direct or a bunch of tweets.
Yeah, or tweets that just reveal new. I mean, people were asking that same question, like, oh, there's not any games before, like after Xenoblade, there's nothing. And then we got Pokemon Snap that they announced, and then we first got Paper Mario, and then we got Pokemon and Snap announced. And then we got No More Heroes 3 gameplay. That's still coming this year. You know what I'm saying? And then No More Heroes 3, that's an exclusive for Switch. I mean, they're going to announce more games. Just relax. Enjoy your games. You're probably sitting on a huge backlog, too, of games.
That's what I'm about to say. You
probably, we all know you're sitting on that back. Just relax and enjoy your games. They'll announce them when they feel like announcing them.
Aren't you at Steam sale right now? The Steam Summer Sale?
Yeah, there's a Steam Summer Sale. What's the highlights from that Steam Summer Sale? What's going on there?
Civ is about $14.
Okay.
Oh god.
What else?
Oh yeah, Bravely Default 2. That's an exclusive. That's coming to Switch this year as well. So
there isn't really many really big highlights outside of ordinary. Oh, Half-Life 2. Everyone should get it. Is $2.
I think Left 4 Dead 2 is like $2 as well. Yeah,
if you don't own the Portal, Half-Life, like these staples. Oh, also, I recommend just pick up Half-Life Alyx. It's $40 right now. Just pick it up when you do get a VR headset.
The next question: did you ever play Naruto games by Ubisoft? I did. They suck. The music's good though. They have the music from the anime, and the jutsu system's interesting, but it's like it's a mini
Crystal
game.
Chronicles, that's right.
Crystal Chronicles is coming out this year too. It's a mini games made into a fighting game. It's like you mash one button, you hit something, you knock somebody on the other side of the stage, and then you input the analog, which is cool to input jutsus. That's cool, like how you change the hand signs as you're inputting with the analog sticks. But the game it's a mini game fighting game, so I don't know. It's not that great.
Crystal Chronicles is a weird game.
The controls are laggy as hell too. The controls you press a button, it takes 2 seconds. Got that Red Dead Redemption input delay, bro. I'm good on all that. I mean, I played them. That's Naruto Broken Bond and Naruto Rise of Ninja. They're interesting. They do some interesting things, but are they good games? No. But they're okay. Whatever.
I think Crystal Chronicles is probably like the next game that I'll probably buy, and probably the only game I'll probably get for a while. Like I'm probably skipping over Paper Mario and just going to save it for Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah.
I feel
Paper Mario looks interesting. It just doesn't look different enough for me to be invested.
That battle.
You got to get it, Paper Mario.
That battle system is pretty different.
The battle system's always different in Paper Mario.
Okay, I guess the reason why I'm looking at Crystal Chronicles is because I'm looking for more games to play with the community. That's all. It's like Paper Mario, I could wait till that game goes down. I'm willing to pay $60 for that, but I don't mind dropping $60 for a game that I could play with the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Great Tech says if Nintendo waits to announce their next big hit right after MS and Sony releases their new consoles, does that mean Nintendo is still competing with them? Nintendo's competing
No,
for.
Nintendo's in a new generation.
They're in their own. They're in their own thing. They're doing their own thing. They're just releasing games. Whether people want to buy their games or not is up to the people. It's up to it. If it's competition, we're competing with It's not about that. Nintendo releases their games. You buy it, cool. If you don't, you don't buy it. I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to. They have a value
Speaking
proposition.
of games,
if you want to play their games, you play their games. If you don't, then you don't. Nintendo's confident that you will buy their games. And that's that. It's not about competition with Microsoft or Sony. I think they're aware of what they're doing, but at the end of the day, that doesn't stop them from doing what they're going to do because their system is so drastically different. Sony and Microsoft are more in direct competition because they have twin boxes. It's where can and they have all the third party. Where can you play this game? Nintendo is so lacking on certain third party games and say you can't put them in the same bracket. They're not going after the same thing. Microsoft and Sony want you. Buy NBA 2K on our system. Buy Cyberpunk on our system. Buy this thing. No, don't buy it on that system. Buy it on this system. Whereas Nintendo's like, well, we don't have most of those games anyway, so can you just buy our games? And sometimes we get some third-party games, then buy it. It's something
they'll have 2K and they're like, it'll be on sale maybe next year. That's the only thing they have.
Nintendo's just not. They're. It's a whole different thing. I mean, you're talking about portable play. These systems, Microsoft and Sony, they don't have any type of way to. I mean, you have like smart. What was it? The smart thingy that Microsoft. What is Microsoft?
Smart delivery.
Not smart delivery. What do they have like with the cloud thing that they're doing now with Microsoft?
xCloud.
xCloud. Yeah, they have like, but you need a whole nother device. It's like a whole thing that you have to set up. Like it's not the same.
Sony and Microsoft though, third parties are far more critical to them because they make so much money off licensing and selling their online infrastructure as a third party tool to them.
I think the PlayStation Classic demonstrates that perfectly. I mean, Nintendo making an NES or SNES Classic can pull from tons of first-party games and still have more they can put. Where Sony has a hard time because people remember mostly the third-party games, and then the deals for those are long gone.
Well, I mean, Sony's known for first party too, though. I mean, they've got the bigger first party games
on the original PlayStation, but they're nothing like Nintendo.
Yeah, they're not that big. Yes, they have to make sure that they balance what they do with third parties. I think it's a concerted effort from Sony to make sure that they just make like single player driven experiences because the third third party multiplats on PS4 just absolutely kill it. They make so much money off of that. They want people buying those games and then saying, hey, when you want to break from that multiplayer, come play, this single player God of War, come play this single player Horizon Zero Dawn, come play this Bloodborne.
Would you can read my piece on why God of War 2018 sucks at level 1 gaming?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting. Go check it out, guys. But I'm actually gonna replay that game. But on my 4K now that I got a really good 4K TV that I can.
Now I do have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Is Bravely Default still coming out this year?
Yeah, it's definitely a 2020 game.
That one's I don't think that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That game looks done. I mean, just looking at the demo, they're done with the gameplay. All that's done.
They just have to. There's probably what's left is just some polish because there's a couple like if you play the demo long enough, you'll find glitches and stuff. Which I kind of broke that demo a little bit, but then again, I was intentionally trying to break it. So
they wanted you to break it.
Yeah.
Like,
they
you
wanted
using game tester mode.
I was in game tester mode for that game. I put way too much time into that game than you should have for a demo. There's a couple super bosses that you can play that are pretty hard unless you know what you're doing. So I beat all those. I freaking went around and collected
giant cactus.
Everything that you can do. There's a giant tree. And there's like
the tree.
Then there's like a sludge monster thingy or whatever. Or no, a sandworm. Sorry, a sandworm. There's a sandworm and there's a giant tree, sludge thingy, whatever it is. So I beat all of those, and then I just collected everything that I can collect, bought all the weapons, bought everything, and then I started running around trying to do really weird things like with the certain classes and changing stuff up. But no, it looks pretty. I think they pretty much have everything done. They just gotta polish it up and ship it out for 2020. It's coming this year, so that'll be this year as well. So yeah, the demo's good. The demo's, if you're into Bravely Default, it's definitely good. I mean, if you're into like the old school Final Fantasy games, that's where this game it kind of draws its inspiration from because you have hella classes, tons of different classes to choose from, and the combat and the strategy is based off of like what class you pick and what you do within those classes, and going Bravely or going Default, how you leverage your your built up BP or not. So it's strategic. It's great. It's just like the first game was amazing. The second game was me.
I love that risk reward system. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The risk reward system. Bravely Default. I think out of the current games that I've been playing, from last generation, this like that risk reward for a turn based RPG. That is one of the best, if not the best, risk reward system out there. It's really good. It's really good risk reward because you can really go all in if you want to, and you can also like speed up the gameplay too. Like you can speed up as fast as you want, so you can grind. Like if you have to grind to get stronger, you can do it really fast in that game. That's what I love about Bravely Default, which they've always had that, by the way. You've always been able to speed up the game, which is cool. You don't gotta wait for like a definitive version of the game or whatever the case is to speed it up. They've always just put that in there. Hey, you want to play at super fast speed? You can do it.
Bravely Default's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I 100% did the first game, 100% did the second game, begrudgingly 100% did the second game.
You know what game I may go back to playing again and start a new file? Trials of Mana.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I beat Trials of Mana.
I gotta go through that too.
A couple of weeks ago, I beat Trials of Mana. It's great.
I still didn't beat the end game with the new classes. I got like the new classes, but I didn't fight the last boss yet.
Oh, end game stuff is fun. End game stuff is good. Trials of Mana is great. But if you've waited this long, people talk about picking it up. Just wait longer. It'll be $25 Black Friday. So just wait. Just wait. All right. Let's see. Will Nintendo release Virtual Console? No. Virtual Console is
Virtual Console's dead.
It's dead. They're not going to do it. What they're going to do is they're just going to do their little online thingy and just keep adding games. Then it's going to carry over to the next Switch and the next Switch and whatever they do. They're just
It's not going to carry over to next console. They're going to start over again.
No. They're definitely not going to start over again because the way that it's based, it's online based. So they're not going to start over again.
Now, will be a big announcement if they announce N64 games.
Yeah,
and keep it the same price.
They could, but then we'll get like
that
one N64 game every 3 years.
Goodness.
Did I kill your
As long as they get like the 10 major ones there, I'm okay with them not putting out
there's only 10 good N64 games. So I mean like that.
I see what you did there. You take your shot.
There's not much for them to bring. I mean, there's not much for them to bring over, right?
You take your shots.
Let's just be real. Let's just be real here. There's about 10 to 15 really good N64 games.
Having those mobile, that's pretty good though.
It's fine. If you like to play, I think frame rate 20 frames per second mobile is definitely not bad, right? Like, think
of it this way: think of having Mario 64, Mario Kart 64 to go. Let's see, GoldenEye. I don't know if they'll be able to work that out. So I'm not going to try to include that.
There's no way they're getting GoldenEye.
So I'm not going to include that. It's not going to try to include that. But you won't be able to see the wrestling games. Damn.
Well, maybe
we're not looking too hot down, huh?
I wanted them to mercy.
You might be able to get a form of numbers.
I've thought about it because like you can't. There's so much licensing issues that come with that. Like you take out GoldenEye, take out the wrestling games. You do have both Zelda games, which is really good. So you have Mario, both Zelda games, Mario Kart 64. You have the original Super Smash Brothers. What else do you have? Let's see. It's
crazy. Like Mortal Kombat 4 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy might not be but those might have issues being a ROM on there as well because of the licensing issues between
Activision,
Valley and Midway then at the time.
Midway, my bad, Activision.
Yeah, so they had a deal with Acclaim in the previous generation, and then they were working out publishing. So it might not even be a thing where like some of these games might not able to be republished. Like it's so crazy because you just look at it and you see this is physically here and it's obviously available and people can pull it, but it's got to be legal.
Donkey Kong 64. You have Yoshi's Story that can put in there.
There's also quite a number of RPGs. Like I'm thinking, like let me think.
Stop that.
Dragon Quest 64.
Is there a Fire Emblem game? Do they have?
Stop this.
Okay, no RPG. Okay, what about Metroid? Is there any N64 Metroid?
Stop this.
What? I'm just asking. Do you guys know N64, right? Is there Metroid games?
No, there isn't. You don't do it.
Okay, there's no Fire Emblem either.
No,
it doesn't need one.
Okay, it doesn't. Okay. I was just asking. I was just wondering.
Can we just stop that fight because clearly.
Listen, y'all got Resident Evil though, right?
I'm doing this now. We got Cruising USA. We got Wave Race 64. What's good?
Wave Race 64.
We got F-Zero.
Wave Race 64 got less.
That's
Wave Race 64 got
1080 is some heat.
Wave Race 64 got less content than the new Avengers game. It got less heroes and less content.
But 1080 was
But I mean-
better than 1080 Avalanche.
But I mean, let's see.
1080 Avalanche is better than the original 1080.
I don't know.
It is.
1080
I don't know.
It is. Y'all just love 1080 because like the graphics at the time. 1080 Avalanche.
No, because Wave Race Blue Storm destroys Wave Race. So
That's
Wave Race
true.
64.
Yeah, Wave Race
so
Blue Storm does definitely destroy. But I guess 1080.
But the F,
but
you know,
1080
F-Zero.
Avalanche
though.
actually has personality. You know, Wave Race 1080 Snowboarding has like no personality. It has no personality.
You know
Avalanche
what?
has some personality.
Let me think.
it's not fair because like if you go, you like Rogue Squadron is one of those premier.
I was about to
games
say. I was
on
about to say
N64,
Rogue Squadron.
but Rogue Squadron 2 and 3 are like it's a movie, and then you have what else we have? The Swan Song was Conqueror's Bad Fur Day. And then you have and the other Swan Song, which was amazing to me, was Resident Evil 2 by Angel Studios. That was how did that happen? But
yeah, and that's great. But then like it's like, you know, Resident Evil 2 that's cool and all.
On GameCube was the actual
Alright.
a little
So
game
you know
called
what?
Resident Evil 4. I mean, y'all might have heard about it on the GameCube or not. You know what I'm saying?
No, you know what? Okay, I'll say this. I'm gonna say one game, not an N64 game. There's one game we need on the Switch before anything else.
Hold on, where's the Perfect Dark on GameCube? Then you just
Perfect Dark is cool. Perfect Dark. You know what? I'm gonna stick to this. I said this in my interview with Rob to Rule to Review. Perfect Dark gave us Metroid Prime.
Perfect.
it did, but at the same point in time, I would say the entire Rare catalog was definitely better on N64.
Yeah, I mean, I
Definitely.
agree. I mean, and you know the best thing about it, like that analogy that you made, is that they literally, what did they do? They tripled the frame rate from Perfect Dark.
Oh God, real
I
talk.
think they tripled the frame rate from Perfect Dark to Metroid Prime, right? The frame rate was tripled. I think it was 20 frames or so on the N64.
Oh,
no.
my God.
They got tripled to 60 frames for a second with. So
Oh, my God.
I do. They definitely know their math there. You know they.
You know what? I'll say this because you know what? You're right. You know with
They
the
tripled the frame rate. Am I not correct? They tripled the frame rate.
Listen, I mean, what do you expect when you have years of experience down the line? I mean, this dude is acting like, yo, he said, "Oh, we triple the frame rate."
I'm just
That's
saying
like
they
me
tripled
comparing.
the frame rate.
You know what that's like?
great,
That's
right?
like you know what that's like? That's like me comparing my Samsung S10 to your old Samsung phone. Oh, they triple this and everything. They can do this.
Well, y'all trying to compare about what's better now. Y'all trying to sell out here talk about the N64 is better than the GameCube. I'm just saying the frame rate for a solid shooter was tripled. I mean, actually, like if you play Time Splitters, I think Time Splitters was that a 60, right? If I'm not correct on GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube was perfection for 480p, so like it's not even fair to even.
Well, I'll say this though.
That's close to the best hardware you can get for that resolution.
There's one game we don't have on the Switch, and it's a crime that we don't have this game on the Switch. And I'm looking at you, SquareSoft. And OG knows what game I'm about to say, that we don't have this game as a throwback on the Switch. It's only one game. It's for the Super NES. Arguably one of the best RPGs of all time.
Chrono Trigger.
We don't have Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger isn't on the NES Online.
No.
Man, this
Super
man-
NES Online.
It's about an Aussie
So-
man.
No, it would be a big
Virtual
deal.
console though, right?
GameCube literally has all that crap that he put in the chat and then some. Like GameCube has pretty much, with the exception, like GameCube has all that stuff and then some. So I'm just like,
GameCube
I
is
don't know why people
missing
start
a
listing
killer
N64
instinct.
games as if GameCube does not have everything and more. GameCube legit has more games than the N64. First, it has more.
It does.
It just flat out has more, and it has
course
more
it has.
variety.
They got more support.
This dude
Super
named
Nintendo.
literally no RPGs in that whole thing. There's like damn near no. There's not as much variety. Like, get out of here with this. Like, I don't understand these N64 people. Where's
First of all-
where's your Skies of Arcadia?
First of all-
These N- like,
first
where's
of
your Skies
all-
of Arcadia? Where's your Skies of Arcadia?
First
Where
of
is your
all-
freaking Fantasy Star? Where is your damn? Where,
What do you mean by you people?
you N64 people? You N64 people. You N64 20 frames per second people. Which,
Wow.
by the way, back then when I played the because I'm older than a lot of you guys out here. When I played the N64, this is what I said when I first played the N64. This is fun, but it feels slow. I didn't know what the name of it. I didn't know what frame. I said this is fun, but something feels slow. The game
don't-
felt
Slow to
slow.
you?
It felt
I
slow
don't
to me.
appreciate. I don't
It felt
appreciate.
slow.
Coming from
Listen, man.
PlayStation and
No,
and,
coming from
and
Super Nintendo, something just felt off. Because Super Nintendo games didn't run at 20 frames per
Did you
second.
play any of the FX games?
Which games?
Those games were like in the teens. Star Fox was
Yeah, Star Fox was trash. Yes,
woo,
Star Fox was
Dog.
trash. You're absolutely right about that. Star Fox
virtual
was-
racing on Genesis.
I'm just
Woo,
talking about
Sir.
the 2D games.
$100 game.
Sir, I
You know?
don't appreciate this console
They felt-
discrimination, sir.
No,
I don't
Mario
think
was
it's
not
console
slow.
discrimination.
Mario was
Appreciate it.
Mario was.
None of it-
What
none
was
of
Mario?
it
Was Mario 30 or 60?
Mario was 30.
Mario was 30.
Like, I
So
don't-
that's fine. I'm talking about the shooters that were 20 frames per second and lower that were dipping and just
Sir.
Zelda. Some games
these-
felt slow. They felt slow.
These
Ocarina
console
of Time is a
this
perfect
console
game, and it
discrimination,
was
man.
Like 15 frames per second in a lot of places.
They
But it was
felt-
a perfect
This
game.
console discrimination, man.
Listen.
What did I do? What did I do to you, man?
Listen,
I just said I
listen.
prefer the N64 to the
You prefer the
GameCube.
console with cartridges.
No.
Exactly,
Star
man.
Fox-
And you gonna sit here and come for my neck,
Star
man?
Fox
What did I do?
64
What did my
is-
neck do to you, man?
Star
Did
Fox
you just
64 is great. Star Fox 64 is great.
It
but
must be the extra
GameCube has
handle in the
Assault
middle
and
of the
GameCube
controller.
has Star Fox Adventures. GameCube has Assault and Star Fox Adventures. So,
64 is better
Yo.
than both of them.
no, I don't think so.
And-
I think it's
Yo.
better than
You're wrong.
Adventures, but it's not. I don't think it's so much better than Assault. No, I don't think so.
So
Assault.
Ninjala hit 1 million downloads day one, according to Aiden Quinn.
That's what's up.
You did, yeah, it did.
Nice,
Yeah.
but
N64 though was kind of ahead of its time at the time.
no, it was great. It's
Like
a
April
genre.
1995. Like if you open a magazine and you see that, or you see one of the little footage videos, you're like, "Whoa, wait, what? What are we doing?" And then the
Yeah.
textures aren't popping around. You're like, "Oh, yes, give me that, please." And then developers are like, "We don't want to spend time doing that." They're
yeah,
like, "We just throw
when
stuff on a
they
disc."
you see they made that first mistake when they announced like certain things for the N64, and you found out you wasn't getting it. It was like, you know what, I'm good off that.
Yeah, that hurt.
So-
I was just glad that at least the Mortal Kombat's and all that stuff came over.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Because that stuff they could have easily backed out, and I did that stuff too. Because that had to have cost them money.
well, you know what else? Here's the thing, though, guys. At the end of the day, people can play whatever the hell I want. I don't care what y'all think is better than what is what. All I know is that y'all want to play games in actual decent frame rate. So y'all want to actually play an RPG. You go with the GameCube, baby. You go with the GameCube.
You take
Best
the-
frame
you
rate
take
ever.
hard
It's
shots.
hard 2600.
You go with the game. And
Hey,
like I
yo.
said, if the N64 actually had a Metroid Prime game or like a Metroid game, I'd be more inclined to be happy with it, because my favorite game on the Super Nintendo, or one of my favorite, like my top 5, was Super Metroid, and I was just waiting all generation for a Metroid game. And I had played these things I played this thing called an emulator that had a bunch of weird symbols, but you moved people on a little map. I didn't know what the hell it was called, but I played it. I put it on an emulator. It's called Fire Emblem, and I was like, "Whoa, this is this really cool Japanese game that I don't want to play."
This guy.
And I was like, man, I wonder if they're ever going to do that on the N64, and it never happened. So I think that was the biggest issue that I had with N64, is that it was just missing some of the huge staple, for me at the time at least, And there was just no RPG coming from the Super Nintendo. It was just jarring, right? Super Nintendo was like king of RPGs. Y'all remember that? Like, it was like king. Then all of a sudden, it's like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, it was king of everything, really, because
Yeah.
it was all of the franchises from SNES for the most part made it over. So you pretty much you weren't really missing anything on the Super Nintendo for the most part.
Yeah, so it was just very unfortunate.
They're just like, hey, you just get 6 more buttons. Here you go. There you go.
Very
Go figure.
unfortunate. But N64, I still had a ton of fun with the N64. Like, people think that I hate it. I don't. I played the hell out of the N64 back in the day. But I was very happy once the GameCube. I was very happy about the GameCube, because I got my Metroid, I got my Fire Emblem, I got my RPGs, I got my third-party RPGs. We got Skies, of Arcadia. We got all sorts of cool RPGs on the GameCube. Not as much as PS2, but we just got way more variety. And like, maybe
I just like the fact that I had 6 face buttons. That was great.
I'm about to be out, y'all, because
yeah.
it hit 2:00 on my end.
we gotta stop anyway. All right, so we'll do some outros. We're done. We went for way too much longer than we should have went. Abaddon, where can they find you?
Y'all can find me over at youtube.com/AbaddonSmith or youtube.com/Beats for Breakfast. Tomorrow, I will have another solo video up on Beats for Breakfast, and the Abaddon Smith channel is still under construction. doing a lot of preparation for that channel. But when it's up and it's going to be going consistently. So just taking my time to have a stream of videos ready and not just one video. So you guys will see more videos soon.
All right, Big Z, where can they find you at?
You can find me on YouTube at Zildjian65. I have a hentai video coming up of a hentai unbox soon.
Let's see if it gets. Are you monetized yet on your channel?
You gonna get demonetization?
I'm not monetized. I have 2 years.
All right, well, you're good. You're good then. Have fun with that. Make sure you guys check out Big Z's channel. Also, Shadow Fox, where can they find you at?
YouTube Shadow Fox Infinite, and also on Twitter, Destroying Souls is Shadow Fox Arcade with the E.
You've been taking it easy lately on that though. Twitter.
You've been very tame lately.
Yeah, you've been tame lately.
Shadow Fox. Lately I've been kind of there's real life stuff going on and I try to troll a little bit with a couple things, but the industry is trolling itself, man. Last of Us 2 is out, so I'm good. I do have a video that I'm still working on, and once I do that, I'll release the PlayStation 5 Xbox Series X videos. But currently, right now, I'm trying to get in touch. I got a contact back, a voicemail back from a representative at Microsoft, so maybe they'll tell me exactly what the hell kind of CPU is in this console. So we'll go from there. But I'm just trying to gather as much information as possible, and then I'll upload the video and put links on it and all that stuff, so you guys can source everything. You don't have to believe me; it'll be all the information that I put forward. So we'll find out exactly what's going on and why they're being so secretive about it, because it's very sketchy to me. So, but yeah, do you play games to have fun or to impress other people?
I make videos to impress people that a lot of people don't watch sometimes. So make sure you guys check out my videos if you haven't already done so. We have a Last of Us Part 2 video that you guys can watch. We have a
good video.
Tales of Arise delayed video plus some other content on there. There might not be a video early in the morning, but I'll have my upload of the my reaction to the Pokemon Presents stuff. So that will be up for sure tomorrow morning. So if you guys haven't seen that, make sure you guys check that out. That will be up tomorrow morning, but there might not be a regular video. You guys will have a regular video later in the day. You on a Fallout radio?
Good boy.
SOS coming in. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate that. And we will see you guys for the next one. Bye, everybody.
Peace, y'all.